gonna hit record and let's get started. Just for the sake of seeing what we have. Sister Bikini, the truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. I'm convinced that Miss Elise Donin had a special significance to this temple. As to why she had a special significance, I believe it has to do with her true identity. What on earth are you talking about? She was... Mystically was an author, just an author of picture books. To be honest, I had my suspicions almost immediately after I met her. Suspicions? Yes, but I didn't have any evidence to support my theory, though. But now I do. This piece of evidence proves Ms. Donin's true identity. Oh, jumping right into it, huh? Never mind. I don't think I have enough evidence yet. I should investigate and gather some more clues before I try again. I got her real rattled, though. Ah, yes, I haven't been out here yet. This is where Sister Bikini witnessed the incident. It's hard to imagine she was lying on the stand, so maybe there are some clues that have yet to be found. Well, let's start examining. The Shijishito, it's there in Mistigami's right hand, but it was proven in court today that it wasn't the murder weapon. Given the design, it must have been used for some pretty gruesome things in the past. Ms. Donim's staff. I definitely remember there being a crystal sphere attached to the staff. I guess Larry eventually found the sphere near the foot of Dusky Bridge, but what was it doing all the way out there? That's a good question. The main gate's on the other side of that stone wall. The difference in elevation is almost 10 feet. That's how steep this hillside is. And that's also the height the body fell from, according to the autopsy. Is it possible that Miss Donin was pushed from the top of the wall? That's possible, I guess. We get quite a bit of snow up here on Eagle Mountain. Around here, skis aren't just for fun, and they're tools for getting around. But the sled? No, that's gotta be for Bikini's own personal entertainment. Yeah, I don't doubt that. Then again, can you blame her? That building up there is the main hall. It was where we were staying. It's kind of funny because it was built on a very steep slope. If you enter from the main gate side, these rooms above me are on the ground floor. And apparently Miss Donin was staying in the corner room. I guess that's where she was pushed from that night. Can we go up there and examine it? There are a few of these stone lanterns scattered around in this courtyard. Without the city glare to compete with, I imagine they would seem a lot brighter. I guess Sister Bikini must light them now since Iris can't be here. Yeah, that would be the logical conclusion. Anything? Anything? Adventure game instincts are telling me, use the bauble on the stick. But no, that's not, I can't use that. I can't do that here. Hey! What was that jarring, inconsiderately loud yell? So this is where you've been, keeping nice and warm, I see. Detective, have you finished repairing the bridge? Yeah, I did. I told you I'd let you know. Well. Then I'll come along with you. And... Sorry, ma'am. No unauthorized entry. Access is restricted to people involved in the case. What was that? I'm involved, aren't I? You couldn't get much more involved than me. Well, yeah, but that's not what I... It's been a while, Scruffy. It's... Miss Von Karma! Sister, please, leave the investigation to me. My. Well, you certainly seem to have everything well under control. I am on your side. I won't do anything you don't want me to. As you work to pin the guilt on Iris. What are you daydreaming about, Phoenix, Wright? Ow! That hurts, you know. Silence! I, Franziska von Karma, will personally guide you through your investigation. So I'm teaming up with you? So you will follow me. I guess we're teaming up. She's not seriously going to follow me around, is she? Let's head out to the courtyard and see if she has anything to contribute. Nope. She doesn't have anything to contribute here. Damn it. Well, let's... Okay. Let's get moving. Hey, it's nice and fixed. Actually, nope. Nothing new there. Let's head on over then. Things have certainly become a lot more hectic than before. They must have commenced with the investigation. Oh, Mr. Nick. That voice. Pearls! Mr. Nick! Mr. Nick! So you were here ever since that night. I was so lonely I thought I was gonna die. When I woke up in the morning and saw the dusky bridge was gone, I realized I was all alone. She was all alone? It must have been very trying for you, little girl. Ah! I am Franziska von Karma, the protege. There's no need to worry now that I'm here. The other prosecutor was so mean to Mystic Maya last year. Well... I don't like you. You're nothing but a little girl without your whip. Get her, Pearl! Mystic Maya didn't do anything wrong, but you were so mean. I'll never forgive you. It looks like Pearl's words are getting under her skin. Rest in pieces, Franziska. Ew! Why are you whipping me? I didn't even say anything. You didn't have to. The smile on your lips gave you away. Anyway, Pearls? Weren't you with Maya? Ah! I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Huh? What are you talking about, Pearls? Mystic Maya! Hey, wait, Pearls! She just ran off. Ow! That was cruel, Phoenix Wright. To make a little girl cry like that is inexcusable. Hey, technically you made her cry first when you were mean to Maya. What was that all about? Pearl's acting like that. It's giving me the creeps. I guess I'd better take another look around since I finally got a chance. Especially since something about this place seems different from 2 days ago. You can see Dusky Bridge from here. It's an unusually long bridge, isn't it? I would say it's about 20 yards. I guess the gorge is too wide to cross with a piece of rope or wire, huh? Therefore, no one has crossed the gorge in either direction since the night of the murder. A simple yet sound deduction, wouldn't you say, Phoenix Wright? Yeah, valid. Look at all the Buddha statues lined up along this path. Phoenix Wright, do you think this is how many siblings the head nun has? Why don't you ask her the next time you see her? You know what? I think I will. And she'll probably slap you for prying into her private affairs. But that is actually a good question. If this is like the various branches, if this is like the various branches of the Fae family, then that means that there's like 6. Except 2 of them are uncovered. All but 2 are uncovered. That's interesting. Phoenix Wright! What? And would you stop calling me by my full name like that? Was this once a prosperous port? A port? Yes, that middle hook is a mooring post for boats, you know. Oh, that. And that's an anchor for one of the wires that is used to hold up the bridge. I think the wire that was tied to this one probably snapped when the bridge burned down. I mean, there's no way there was ever a port all the way up here. Don't get smart with me, Phoenix Wright. But I didn't say anything! There's a weird smell coming from that incinerator. The door is also open, almost like it's begging me to look inside. Well, let's see what stunning clues concealed in here, shall we? Huh? It's empty. How naive of you, Phoenix Wright. But it's a bit strange, don't you think? Franziska von Karma? I seem to remember. There was snow on this incinerator the first time I saw it. In other words, someone's been using it to burn something recently. Listen, Phoenix Wright. It's impertinent to call people by their full name. So why do you keep calling me by my full name? I was only copying you. That's interesting. The sign says Inner Temple. I don't know how you're reading it, but it's incomprehensible to me. Actually, I can't read it either. Feigning comprehension isn't a very good habit to have, Phoenix Wright. She looks really happy to have finally caught me on something. There's a little gate that leads into the garden. It says no entry on the sign, though. Come now, Phoenix Wright, what are you doing? Let's go in. It's half open anyway. What harm could come of it? But it says no entry. Don't you Americans enjoy doing whatever you like and then simply say whatever? That's got nothing to do with anything. And who told you that? Have you been hanging out with Maya, Franziska? New headcanon. Franziska and Maya are pen pals. And Maya's been just filling her head with all sorts of silly nonsense. This must be the door that leads to the inner temple, where Maya Fey was training on the night of the murder. Yes, there's a solitary room there called the training hall. You could do with some training yourself, Phoenix, right? Ew! You're completely out of shape. Ugh. I don't know how much more of this woman I can take. Francisca's fun, though. What's wrong? Why are you so quiet? Maya. She was supposed to be in here training. Yet it appears she's nowhere to be seen. What's that? That strange lock. It wasn't there 2 days ago. This whole room is really giving off some strange vibes. What do you think this yellowish poster is, Phoenix, Wright? It's a scroll, not a poster. It's a picture of a woman who's actually... A woman? I don't see any woman here. There's a different atmosphere in this room since the last time I was here. No, it's not a different atmosphere. It's a different smell. It's gravy. What's the matter? This scroll. It's been completely covered in gravy, of all things. Ah, yes, there is a very appetizing smell in the air. But gravy is a type of sauce. So when you run out of paint, you Americans use gravy as a substitute, I see. No, no one does that! For starters, it stinks! This must be the gravy that we had with the roast on the night of the incident. But why would anyone do this? Why this scroll? Aha, cool. This scroll shows a picture of Misty Fey, master of the Korean channeling technique. But why would anyone cover it in gravy, of all things? I can't make out what's drawn on this scroll at all. I'll never understand you Americans and your so-called artists. Artists? Yeah. Look at those wafer-thin mattresses. I'm sorry, Phoenix, Wright. Wafer-thin? Yeah, you know, thin like a wafer. In other words, uncomfortable. That's how we describe things like these mattresses. I guess you must say wafer-thick or something back in Germany. Not about these mattresses, certainly not. It's an antique dresser. Don't you dare open it, Phoenix, Wright. Now I know how Maya feels when I tell her not to touch things. What a pity. It's full of nothing but old clothes for the acolytes. I thought we weren't opening it. I'm from the prosecutor's office. I can do anything. Don't turn into Jevil on me, ma'am. Yeah, you can do anything except stand up to a 9-year-old girl. This door. When I was here 2 days ago, that weird lock wasn't on it. Those chains. It's almost as if they're guarding something inside that cavern. I've never seen a lock quite like this before. I have. I've seen locks and chains just like this before. They look just like the ones that guard a person's secrets during a psych lock. I wonder if this lock is guarding something too. Dark secrets in a dark cavern. Let me use the Magatama on it, please! Please tell me I can use it. What took you so long? I thought even you'd manage to get here faster than this. Oh, Mr. Trite. Entirely wrong voice. Prosecutor Godot, I didn't know you were here. Prosecutor? How come you didn't show up at the trial today? Ha. I could ask you the exact same question. Huh? But I had a cold, so I had something slightly more important than a common cold to deal with. The importance of which is something you have no hope of ever understanding. Enough! I believe I have the measure of you. You are the very worst kind of prosecutor. What could be more important than a trial? Who's the wild mare, Trite? This is Miss Von Karma. She was the acting prosecutor in your absence today. Ha. Well, I guess I owe you one then. But you can go now, princess. It's time for the big boys to take the reins. Hey, fuck you, Godot. Don't condescend to Franzi. Seriously, don't. She'll probably whip your ass. Just who do you think you are? This case is my... Hey, Philly. Know your role and shut your mouth. I can't stand women like you. Hey! Fuck you, Godot! I'm only going to say this once, Lady Von Whippingberg. Go home. Phoenix, right? What are you hitting me for? Ha. You deserve more cracks of the whip than that, Trite. What? You still don't get it, do you? You don't realize that you've set something in motion that you'll never be able to undo. There's something different about Godot today. I don't like this. Getting such a strong sense of something from behind that mask of his. Is it anger? Or is it sorrow? You had some important business and that's why you weren't in court, huh? So what was it? I've told you once before, but perhaps you don't remember. I've returned from the depths of hell to do battle with you. You see, Trite, I've experienced something most have not, death. You died? Of course, being extradited from hell is a tedious affair. The meticulous regeneration and adjustment of all your internal organs is, well, let's just say modern medicine allows us all to live to a ripe old age. Even someone like me. So you mean that mask you wear is this ugly device? I promise it's not a fashion statement, my unenlightened friend. Without this, I can't see your frequently dumbfounded face. I didn't know. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Still, I keep this worn-out piece of junk of a body going with regular servicing. So you had a doctor's appointment, huh? I'm sorry, but you say you experienced death? How was that possible? What happened? Why don't you ask him? Huh? Me? Yeah, Trite, you. You should know all about it. You know when my life ended, and who ended it for me. Well, Phoenix, Wright, do you? I don't know what he's talking about. Although, to be honest, I do feel a little tug at the corner of my memory. I think I do know about how Godot was killed. It will all become clear in due time. Isn't that right, Trite? You said I've done something I can never undo. What did you mean by that exactly? The inner temple here on this side of Dusky Bridge is an isolated island. That's what Sister Bikini said too. And I wonder, Trite, do you know what the police are doing here today? What do you mean? They're searching. Searching for any trace of an acolyte who went missing. Missing? As leader of the search party, I can tell you this with absolute certainty. Maya Fey is not on this side of Dusky Bridge. Fuck! Huh? But that's impossible. She came here that night and... I won't say it again. The chances of her being here are nil. Excluding, of course, one very unique place. One? Where is that? The Sacred Cavern, the entrance of which we are standing at right now. This is the only place that the search party has yet to explore. So they haven't searched that cavern yet, huh? Be aware, though, that the temperature inside frequently falls below freezing. Even if she were in there, the chances of her being found alive are slim at best. I don't like this at all! No! Which means, Trite, that you sent Maya Fey to her death. You fool! If that's the situation, why aren't you in there with a search party right now? You must have blinders on, my equestrian angel. Don't you see the big lock and chains? It's a trick lock. I'm making preparations to open it as we speak. Well, Trite, once again, a woman dies because of you. Oh. Once again? What are you talking about? Don't tell me you've forgotten. It was only 2 years ago, after all, when the last unfortunate woman died because of you. Because of me? And do you know who that was? It was Maya Fey's sister. That's right, Mia Fey. Mia? You killed her. No, that's not how it was. It was 2 years ago. Mia Fey was pursuing someone, a man. But she bit off more than she could chew. She made a very dangerous enemy. Yeah, that's one case I'll never forget. But I got that guy, personally. Sure. Sure, Miss Fey's murderer was caught. But that won't bring her back. Well, no, but... You were with her at the time. You and no one else. It was your responsibility. You should have protected her. Godot? You say Mia Fey was your teacher. Well then, I'd say you've learned nothing, Trite. You robbed her of her life, and now you've let her sister suffer the same fate. I hope not. I haven't sentenced Maya to death, no. What is this peculiar-looking lock? Why don't we just break it open? It would be a simple matter of... I'm afraid we can't do that. This area has always been prone to earthquakes. The repeated tremors weaken the foundations of the training hall. Any excessive force used to break the lock open would... Well, let's just say the inner temple in the Sacred Cavern would be a thing of the past. Very well, then dare I suggest the obvious solution of opening it with the key? Ha. Sure, just show me where the keyhole is on this trick lock. There's no keyhole? That's right, an interesting puzzle, huh? The person who set this lock is the only one who can open it. Then who was it? Simple, the accused. What? Iris? When an acolyte undergoes training inside the Sacred Cavern, the attending sister is responsible for locking the entrance. Obviously, the night of the murder was no exception. Maya Fey was to train in there. Sister Bikini did mention it a number of times now that I think about it. She said that Iris was left in charge of supervising the early stages of the training. So Iris, the accused, is the only one who can open this lock. I've arranged for her to be brought here now. Iris is the only person who can open this lock. I hope she gets here soon. Hang on in there, Maya. We'll get you out. So, I should be getting back to work. Wait, Godot. How sure about Maya are you? There's no doubt in my mind. She's in the Sacred Cavern somewhere. It's the only place she could be. You better start praying. You better pray that friend of yours brings the accused back here soon. Edgeworth? Listen up, Trite. There's only one thing I want to say to you before I go. I'll never accept you. Never. You should choose your friends more carefully, Phoenix Wright. He's not my friend! I mean, he just made it very obvious that he is not my friend. That's what everyone says. Looks like I don't have much of a choice. I guess I'll just have to do what I can for now. I don't know, should I or shouldn't I? Sounds like someone's talking to himself, but where's that coming from? Yeah, I guess I better wash that off. That's what I'll do. No, but I can't do that. I'm a detective. Ah, my brain. This is driving me nuts. Ah! Is something troubling you, Scruffy? Please don't whip me like that all of a sudden, sir. It was merely a simple greeting, a friendly tap on the shoulder with my whip. Hey, Gumshoe, it could be worse. She could have greeted you with a knife. By which I mean stabbing you. Some people greet with stabbing. Being greeted with a whip is peanuts compared to that. So, what's up, Gumshoe? Is something on your mind? How did you know, pal? Perhaps you were trying to decide if you wanted to wash that off or not? How did you know, sir? Oh, yeah, I nearly forgot. You can't go through that little gate there, okay? You mean the one that says no entry on it? I, kinda already snuck in there. Is he trying to be clever or something? So, what's behind this, Scruffy? Huh? A kind of garden-like garden. A garden? Yeah, anyway, it's under investigation right now, so keep out. I'm not telling you, I'm asking you, pal. You got me? Isn't it normally the other way around? Well, see you later. So, shall we adjourn to this garden, Phoenix Wright? I was just about to ask. Of course, what else would we do? I really want to know what Gumshoe was thinking of washing off. Oh. Oh. There's a strange feeling in the air. I wonder what it is. Strange feeling? Forget about that. What's that strange writing on the stone lantern? Ah! What are you doing here, sir? I thought I said you can't come in here. Don't you know, Scruffy? Avon Karma will always show up wherever there is a clue. And there are plenty of clues to be found here. But... I'm looking around. What the heck is that? Uh-oh. You spotted it, huh, pal? Are you kidding me? It could be more obvious. It says Maya. Yeah, and before you ask, it's written in blood. You will answer all our questions now, Scruffy, without exception. Yes, sir. There are a couple of torches here. I guess you need all the light you can get up here in the mountains. Yeah, I was looking at those things, pal. It looks like they've been lit pretty recently. Recently? Recently? How recent are we talking about? As recent as the night of the murder. Maya was training here on the night of the murder. It's not unreasonable to think these things were lit up at the time, I guess. There's a charm or something poking out from the snow. Looks pretty old. There's a leather cord tied to it, too. Apparently it belonged to the victim. To Missy Lee's domain? Yeah, there was a broken leather cord around the lady's neck. The ends of the cords found on both the victim and on this charm match exactly. Sounds to me like this little trinket is going to be my ticket to getting some very big answers. Korean Master's Talisman. A little lantern, a little statue. It is certainly a quaint little garden. Oh! What is this huge bowl here for? Oh, I know this one. It's a water bowl, isn't it? Everything else is completely frozen over. But the ice in this bowl has been broken. That's true. I wonder if this has any impact on the case. Well, I doused my face earlier with the water in this. I was getting kind of sleepy. Gah! Next time you're sleepy, you need only come to me. Got it? I mean, a whip crack will certainly wake you up. Well, this is odd. There's no snow on the ground here. And it's an almost perfect rectangle. It couldn't have happened naturally. Yes, it appears as though someone has carefully cleared away the snow. No doubt it was you, wasn't it, Scruffy? Huh? No, it wasn't me, sir. It was already like that when my men and I got here to start the investigation. If it wasn't the police, then who did it? Oh, yeah, there's something I need to tell you. Just between the three of us, okay? What is it? It's top secret. You can't tell anyone, got it? Understood. Well, when I was a kid, I got knocked out of the local wrestling contest, you see? And I was so disappointed, I just picked up my mouth guard and cried all the way home. Man, I got in so much trouble when I left it on the couch. Is that it? That's it. Ah! Whoever cleared the snow away must have had a reason. Although I can't even begin to imagine what that reason could be. Hiding evidence is the first thing I'd think of. Because there's bloodstains here. There's bloodstains and they all seem to lead down. The situation hasn't changed. We still don't know anything about Maya's whereabouts. She's gotta be in the sacred cavern, though, and that's the only place left. I heard it's real cold in there. We've gotta get her out fast, or it could be bad, pal. Isn't there anything you can do, detective? What are you talking about? Huh? We're already on it. You could get a faster response from a computer. Mr. Godot put everything in place right away. That guy doesn't mess around. Godot? Yeah, the coffee-drinking mystery man who didn't show in court. I gotta say, he's totally made me rethink my perception of him, pal. She cross-examined me once, you know? Yeah, that was us. The big guns locking horns. Witness versus lawyer. It was a battle of cunning tactics and tricks. But the witness isn't supposed to play any tricks. I can't believe she's gone. Apparently, the girl was trapped over here since the night of the murder. Did she say anything to you about Maya? She wouldn't tell me. She's not gonna tell me something if she wouldn't even speak to you, pal. She was real upset. She wouldn't stop crying. Phoenix Wright, look sharp and go comfort that poor young girl. In a minute, okay? I will. Trust me, I will. I will give her the biggest damn hug, just you watch. I now have the mental image of Phoenix picking up little pearls and just carrying her around for the rest of the case. and she just clings to him. It's adorable and also kind of sad. That guy's got more mysteries than a Choose Your Own Escapade book, pal. Yeah, I know. Trust me, I already know. I can't believe he skipped the trial like that without even getting permission. He'd have been fired for sure if he worked for a normal company. Never would have expected the prosecutor's office to be so lax. Don't get the wrong impression, Phoenix Wright. More importantly, doesn't it strike you as odd that the police are unaware of that man's medical situation? Yeah. Yeah. Why is he hiding that from everyone? Additionally, it raises another question. Why did he choose to tell only you? Yeah, why did he? Hey, you want to hear something, pal? Come on, I know you do. Maggie says she's going to buy me a new coat. Aww! Really? That's great! Yeah, I think it's to say thanks for helping her out during that last case. Which means I can finally check out this stinky sweat-soaked rag. You mean you don't have any special attachments to that coat? And after all the effort I took to mail it back to you from Germany. Ah, well, I'll be sure to take good care of it once it's retired, sir. Aww. She's a sweet old lady. She doesn't look like the lying type to me. But there was a problem with her testimony, wasn't there? Yeah, but I don't think it was her fault. She was just trying to say the right thing, and it came out wrong, that's all. I know what it's like. Happens to me all the time. For a detective, you are completely lacking in powers of observation. She sure was a mysterious person. Her real name, her past, it's all a complete mystery. Still, it strikes me as odd. Why would someone who wishes to remain anonymous become an author? You know what probably happened? I bet she didn't know her books were going to be such a success. That's what I think. I don't know, I'm not so sure anymore. The clues we found today have turned this case all topsy-turvy. I can't see how Iris could have done it now. Oh? How interesting, Scruffy. Sadly, I don't share the same sentiment. Prepare yourself well for tomorrow, Phoenix Wright. Why does every prosecutor want to burn me at the stake so badly? He was Miss Elise D'Onima's apprentice, or so I heard. Well, I suppose you could call him that. The guy drew a portrait of me, you know? Well, lucky you, I suppose. Yeah, but I had to pay him 50 cents for it. It was pretty awful. Come on, that was fucking cheap. You weren't really enthused about this guy either, huh? Well, he made a mockery of the court today, and I'm almost sure he did it on purpose, too. Wow, what a beauty, huh? Ah! What was that long pause for, Scruffy? That's a real nice brooch she's got, too. Ah! Gumshoe needs to learn how to give compliments faster than Franziska gives lashes. I haven't seen Mr. Edgeworth for about a year. Talk about a long time. Do you know why he moved overseas? I don't know. Probably to look cool. Huh? There's a lot of weight attached to doing research overseas, you know? Once I've done my stint in Paris, you'll have to call me Monsieur Gumchasseur. People really don't get Edgeworth, do they? It's his own fault for not explaining anything about himself. I should know. I used to live with him as his adopted sister. So, how's the Inner Temple investigation going? You have the best forensic team in the world working the place. Forensic team? And what was the outcome of this scientific study? Nothing. Scientifically speaking, the place is as clean as a whistle. That's simply not good enough, Scruffy. Do you think I'll let you get away with that? Uh-oh. Well, there were a couple of things that bothered me when I first got here, sir. That stone lantern and the surrounding area that's not covered in snow, correct? They looked kind of fishy to me, you know, scientifically speaking. So I got the lab boys to look them over. The results were... it's kind of hard to say, actually. I guess I better look into them myself. About Maya. Oh, did Mr. Godot tell you yet? Yes, we heard. He's got a search party out looking for her. But there's nowhere else she could have disappeared to on this side of Dusky Bridge. All we can do is wait for Mr. Edgeworth to get here, pal. Edgeworth? He's escorting Iris, the defendant, over here. We'll have to wait since she is the only one who can open the door to the sacred cavern. Oh, I think Mr. Edgeworth wants to talk to you about something too, pal. Huh? I wonder what it is. Just don't be expecting any good news when you talk to him. When I spoke to him, Mr. Edgeworth sounded so down I felt like I was drowning. Edgy, what have you found out? Sounds pleasant. None of this is good. Maya, so these letters are written in blood? Yeah, what's worse is it's the victim's blood. Huh? This is Miss D'Onima's blood? We haven't done a detailed analysis yet, but it's looking that way, pal. Most interesting. Phoenix Wright, I presume you know, don't you? Why Maya's name is written upside down. You know what? That was really bothering me too. But I just came up with the answer, the result of my own special gumshoe investigation. Really? Do tell. Well, on the night of the murder... That stone lantern was upside down. Ahem. Anyway, there's really only one logical explanation to this mystery. Miss Elise Donim wrote these letters herself, in her own blood. You must be joking. That's impossible. From the writing in the victim's blood and the other clues left behind, it seems pretty likely that this garden was the scene of Miss Elise Donim's murder. At least that's our current theory on how the events took place, pal. What? So, Miss Donim was killed here? However you want to look at it, that's what people are saying now. Then, what Sister Bikini saw in the courtyard at the main temple was... Well, what was it? If that wasn't the scene of the crime, what did she see? What do you think, Miss Von Carr? Ah! Surely a special gumshoe investigation would reveal the answer, no? But wait a sec, the bloody writing and all the other clues here. Someone could have easily set all that up after the murder, right? Sorry, but that's not an option, pal. Why not? How quickly you forget, Phoenix Wright. Yeah, seriously. Ever since the incident occurred, this place has been completely inaccessible. Because Dusky Bridge was completely burned out. I was overseeing repairs to the bridge the whole time. No one came over here before me and my men. Which means no one could have planted all this stuff here, pal. I can't think of a counter-argument to that. I knew it. I should have washed the blood off the lantern as soon as I got here. If this really was the scene of the crime, then I need to figure out exactly what it was that Bikini actually saw. This was found close to Dusky Bridge, wasn't it? And that's what that artist guy said, yeah? Right after the defendant flew over the burning bridge. According to his testimony, she dropped it when she landed on the other side. But this crystal didn't belong to Iris. The crystal had dropped out of Miss Elise Donim's staff. And there are traces of blood on it too. The real question is, what was it doing near the foot of Dusky Bridge? It was like a circus today in court. All thanks to this little sketch. At the risk of repeating myself, you really ought to choose your friends more carefully, Phoenix Wright. He's an old childhood friend. I didn't exactly choose him. He just sort of happened. Okay, I know Larry's a bit out there, but he genuinely wants to help Iris. I'm sure of that. He wouldn't have produced this for no good reason. You are nothing more than a marshmallow on the inside, the both of you. What do you make of the photo of the crime scene? Yeah, it's really gruesome. All I gotta say is that the killer was messed up in the head. But it turns out that Shichishito thing wasn't even the murder weapon. So then, why would someone stab it in the victim like that? That's the mystery we're here to solve. Loss of blood from stab in back. Body fell 10 feet after death. All I can think is that somebody staged the murder. But who and why? That thing must have been worn by the victim. There's no other way of looking at it. You mean because of the matching leather cord found around the victim's neck? Yeah, I bet it was one of those things she always wore. I've got this safe driving charm I've been wearing for over a year now. If I ever get into an accident, it guarantees it'll be the other guy's fault. Is it supposed to stop you from having an accident in the first place? Do you know anything about this squirrel detective? Well, I know it smells great. Yeah, this is just the kind of weather for some steaming mashed potatoes and gravy. I really love that stuff. I eat so much that my could even smooth. Ah! Have you nothing else to say about this than your inane ramblings about gravy? Not really. Let's leave it at that, okay? I didn't follow the ins and outs of it, but it turned out that this wasn't the murder weapon, right? If what Sister Bikini saw is right, then no, it's not. She said the murder weapon was thrust into the victim up to the hilt, but the bloodstains on this aren't consistent with her story. Don't worry, pal, I'll uncover the real murder weapon. If I haven't turned it up by spring, you can take my badge. The case will be long over by then, Gumshoe. That staff belonged to the victim. Yeah, and apart from the crystal missing from the top, there's nothing wrong with it. Oh, I just remembered something important. This is just between us, okay? Is it going to have anything to do with the case, Detective? Well, no, but it's really... Then I'm not interested. Thank you, Francie. Yes, sir. It seems you have a visitor. Mr. Wright? Or... Mr. Wright? Iris, I'm really glad to see you. Godot managed to mobilize the police by claiming a state of emergency. Not him again. Never mind him, we've got to hurry and unlock the sacred cavern. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. It's my fault someone so important to you is locked in there. Mr. Edgeworth, can we finish our conversation later? All right. Let's hurry to the inner temple then. I'll see you later, Wright? Hold it! Wait, Edgeworth, I'm coming with you guys. Sorry, Wright, I can't allow you to come with us. What? I hate to be the one to break it to you, but Maya Fey is in a rather delicate position. What do you mean by a delicate position? This isn't simply a rescue operation, right? It's also an investigation. That being the case, we can't allow members of the public to interfere. Come on, Edgeworth. If anything happens, you'll be the first to know. Please understand, right? But it's Maya! Mr. Wright. All that matters is that Mystic Maya is rescued, correct? Listen to the voice of reason for a change, Phoenix Wright. From now on, consider anything beyond Dusky Bridge to be off limits. We'll be going now. Excuse us. This is no time to be standing around, Phoenix Wright. Aren't there other things that demand your attention? She's right. Thanks for reminding me. Sister Bikini looks like she's shrunk some since I last saw her. Don't be so rude, Phoenix Wright. What's wrong, Sister Bikini? My, hello you two. How are you doing? Ha ha. From the sound of that sigh, I guess she's still pretty down. Iris was just here, you know? She was accompanied by that handsome crimson-clad prince. Is she talking about Edgeworth? It was just a courtesy call. I wasn't allowed to talk with her at all. Oh dear, it's all my fault that this has happened. Poor Iris. She was worried about my back, would you believe? What have I done to her? Only what you had to do, sister. You bravely and truthfully testified about what you saw. There's no shame in that. And we'll see to it that your testimony wasn't made in vain. Well, I don't hear anyone else saying that. Mr. Blue Suits doesn't seem to share your opinion, I see. Huh? Me? Ack! Oh, yes, you did great, Sister Bikini. Absolutely spectacular. Sniffle. You two are the only ones who've said that to me. I can't shake the feeling that I just became a shill to a shrew. Do you have a problem, Phoenix, Wright? Sure, she was brave to testify so truthfully like that, but I know she's still hiding something. Guess it's time to break those cyclocks of hers.
Take that!
You know, it'd be neat if Franziska could see these. Yeah. Sister Bikini, the truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. I'm convinced that Miss Elise Donim had a special significance to this temple. As to why she had a special significance, I believe it has to do with her true identity. What on earth are you talking about? She was... Mystic Elise was an author, just an author of picture books. To be honest, I had my suspicions almost immediately after I met her. Suspicions? Yes, but I didn't have any evidence to support my theory, though. But now I do. This piece of evidence proves Ms. Donim's true identity.
Take that!
Miss Donim had this charm with her at all times. Kai, where did you... This isn't some cheap good luck charm either. Then, what do you think it is, Mr. Wright? What could a talisman like that possibly mean? It's a talisman, is it? Interesting. Oops. This thing speaks volumes about who Miss Donim really was. This talisman and one other item unequivocally prove Miss Donim's true identity. No, not the stuff. What am I doing? The piece of evidence I need to show Bikini is obvious. That's just a plain old good luck charm, so please just give it back. Oh, no, I don't think so. This thing speaks volumes about it.
Take that!
Yes? No. I mean, it's obvious. I should have saved before this. Neon suggests the wall scroll, and yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards right now, too.
Take that!
Yep. The painting is obscured by this gravy stain at the moment. But this scroll shows the master of the Korean channeling technique. The crest at the top of is a sign of that honorable title. The very same crest that adorns the talisman the victim carried with her. Aha! Ah! This crest is reserved for the master of Korean. Who on earth told you that nonsense? I've got no idea what you're talking about. The new master, Maya Fey, told me. What? You mean that acolyte is Misty Fey's daughter? Yes. Her only surviving daughter, yes. Also, hello, Neon. Are you sure? Yes. In fact, since her eldest daughter passed away, Maya is Misty Fey's sole successor. Misty! Aha! And I gained back most of the health I lost. Mystic Elise graced us with her presence about a week ago. And when she showed me the talisman with that mark on it, well, I nearly fainted. No one had seen her since she disappeared 17 years ago, after all. And you know, that now it occurs to me that, you know, she disappeared 17 years ago, and little Pearls is only like 9 years old, so she and Pearls never met. The first time they met was the night she died, basically. That's kind of depressing. What is the significance of this talisman, sister? The Korean talisman is the symbol of the Master of Korean. The bearer must carry it with them always until their death. Until their death? So, Elise Donin was really Maya's mother, huh? I suspected as much. She was Misty Faye, the master of the Karayan channeling technique. The truth comes out at last. It looks like we're making some headway here. Tell me, sister, after 17 years, why did she choose to show herself now? Because something happened that called her out of hiding. What happened? Well... Oh, no. No. What's happening? It can't be. Earthquake! Ah! Oh my goodness, the inner temple! This kind of tremor might... The Ina temple? The sacred cavern of the training hall might very well cave in! What? Maya! It seems to have passed. Well, we can't just stand here and do nothing. Let's go! What? Where? To the inner temple, of course. Where else? Sister Bikini, we'll finish this later, alright? Of course. You run along now. People may have been hurt. I must get some first aid kits ready. Good idea! Very good idea. Come on then, Phoenix Wright. They won't bar you from entering as long as I'm with you. Thank you. Right at that moment, I had the worst feeling in my gut. We just had an earthquake. Yeah! I wonder if he's alright. Yeah, I'm worried about him too. You look worried. Are you thinking about Miles Edgeworth? The answer is R.I.P. Edgeworth. Yeah, poor Edgeworth. Come on, let's go. Time to book it. We've got to hurry to the inner temple and... Right. Ah! What are you doing here? How could I have... How do you expect us to understand if you don't speak up? You! Hey! Why am I the one getting whipped? She's gone. No! The defendant, Iris, she's gone. Gone where? She fled. She escaped. What? So, it was just now, during the... It's easy to say Edgeworth's one and only weakness is fear of earthquakes. Hug him now! I should have known better than to escort the defendant alone. As soon as the ground started shaking, everything went dark before my eyes, and I stupidly passed out. It's not your fault, Edgy! That incident haunts you to this day, doesn't it? There's no excuse for letting the suspect get away. I can't believe I let it happen. Right, the inner temple area is a dead end, so she could have only escaped to this side. We haven't seen her. Then we need to get a manhunt underway now and search Eagle Mountain from top to bottom. Wait, Edgeworth, have you thoroughly checked the inner temple yet? Don't be ridiculous, why would I? The inner temple is like an island. There's no way to escape but to cross. No, that's not it. Iris isn't the type of person to run away, Edgeworth. What are you talking about? Sister Bikini mentioned something when we were with her. She said that the sacred cavern might have caved in because of the quake. Then you think Iris might have gone to the inner temple to check on the situation. Listen, Edgeworth. I'm sure she's at the inner temple. A manhunt is not necessary. Right. Let's not waste any more time. We need to get to the training hall's sacred cavern now. Alright, let's go. Fortunately, the sacred cavern hadn't caved in, but what we found was something none of us could have ever expected. What?! There's more of them?! How can there be even more locks? What is the meaning of this? Iris! Iris, please tell me. What the hell is going on? God damn! the edge of my seat here. Investigation part 2. Neon tells me, please don't fall off. Don't worry, I'm not in danger of falling off. I'm actually sitting comfortably rather than literally on the edge of my seat. Right, is this what Godot was talking about? Yeah, the Trek locks. Now then, Iris, please remove these at once. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm afraid I can't. It's not possible for me. What? During the earthquake, when the cavern was in danger of caving in, Iris escaped. And I know that there was only one lock when I last came here. So you're saying that you can't undo the new locks? Yes. If only I was stronger. Edgeworth, how are you feeling? You look a little pale in the face. Like you're one to talk with your face all green. Miles Edgeworth, go and get some air. I'll watch over the suspect. You go and get a grip on yourself. Oh, thank you, Frenzy. Don't be ridiculous. I'm perfectly fine. There's no telling what sort of mistakes you could make in your current state. Go and get some rest. That's your only concern now, Miles Edgeworth. Ah, she's trying to look out for her brother in her own special way. Understood. I'll handle the investigation in the garden. You take care of things here. Edgeworth. He's got so much pride that he's probably off crying in a corner of the garden. Pride is simply another trap that hinders us in our lives. That said, one must have pride to be effective on the job. At any rate, it seems that this is where we part ways, Phoenix Wright. I'm going to stay here and see if I can't help solve these bothersome puzzles. I see. Well, thanks for your help. Now then, do you mind if I ask you a few things, Iris? No, not at all. Why did you make a run for it, Iris? I'm sorry. I heard the inner temple had been severely shaken by the strong earthquake we had. I was so worried, I just had to come and see. In other words, you didn't run away to escape the law. At least we're clear on that. I can't tell you how relieved I was when I saw the sacred cavern was all right, but... But what? Then I saw these chains here. I saw all these extra locks that someone had put on the sacred cavern's door, and... Who in the world would do something like this? These trick locks are a sacred treasure of the Korean tradition. There are hundreds of ways to set them. That's why only the person who set the lock can open it. And you aren't the one who set these locks. I don't think it's that simple, Franziska von Karma. When we were here the first time, there's only one lock. But now, somehow, there's 5 of them. What does that mean? It means that someone wanted to secure the place even more. And they wanted to secure it before you got here, Iris. Presumably because they wanted to make sure Maya couldn't get out. This means that Iris can only open one of these locks, the first one. Yes, that's correct. What? Iris, try to think, please. Isn't there any way around this? Well, like I said, there are hundreds of different ways to set these locks. I suppose if I went through every combination with each one, I could remove them. But it will take time, won't it? Yes, about a day if I had to guess. A whole day? Well, that's better than leaving the locks in place. Will you do this for us? Sure, I'll do whatever I can. You've got to wait another day? Hang in there, Maya. You're gonna have to call on your inner strength now. You know what, Iris? There's still one thing I don't quite get. And what might that be, Phoenix Wright? I think it's obvious. Iris, on the night of the murder, where were you? Huh? Please, Iris, don't give me that look. You told us that you were in your room at Hazakura Temple at the time of the incident, but you were seen that same evening at the inner temple. And then you were spotted at the scene of the crime in Hazakura Temple too. Being spotted at both Hazakura Temple and the inner temple, it's as if you were... Well, Iris, I think it's about time you told us the truth. I knew it. There's something going on here that we don't know about. Jeez, yeah! Okay. She's not gonna let me show her anything. Actually, can I? No. Nope. Nope. Okay.
Take that!
Just for the sake of investigating. I think it's time you told the truth about what you were doing on that night. You said you were in your room at Hazakura Temple the entire time. Do you still claim that to be the truth? Yes, that's where I was. Iris, I believe you're innocent. And that's why I want to believe what you're telling me, too. But I can't. Because this person saw you somewhere else on the night of the murder. I'm talking about Sister Bikini, of course. Sister Bikini. Her testimony in court today was very clear. That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. Sister Bikini didn't just see you, she spoke with you. You two talked about Maya's training that night. So, you see, Iris, you were there at the inner temple on the night of the murder. That's very impressive, Mr. Wright. The acolyte's actual training was due to start after 10 o'clock that night. I left the main hall early so I wouldn't be late. What time was that? Let me see. It takes about 20 minutes to walk between the main hall and the inner temple. So I would have left at about 9:40 p.m., I think. I'm sorry, Iris, but lying just doesn't suit you. Huh? Now, you say you left the main hall at 9:40 p.m., but what you say doesn't add up with this.
Take that!
You yourself testified to the contrary, don't you remember? You said you rang the lights out bell at 10 o'clock that night. Ah! Plus, only moments before you rang that bell, you were seen at the main hall by the most reliable witness I have. Who's that? Me. Mr. Wright, you even spoke a little that evening. That's when you gave me this. Surely you haven't forgotten. No, that's right, I remember. And that brings us to another puzzling fact, Iris. At 10 o'clock on the night of the murder, you were seen in 2 different places at the same time. It's time you told me exactly what's been going on, Iris. So far, I've managed to prove 2 things. First, on the night of the incident, you were at the inner temple. And second, at the exact same time, you were ringing the bell at Hazakura Temple. There's only one possible explanation for this apparent impossibility. On the night of the incident, you were seen in 2 different places at the same time, which means there must have been 2 of you. I can't think of any other explanation, Iris. But that's crazy. How could that be? There's only one of me. It's impossible. Impossible? I wonder. The way you're trembling certainly seems to suggest otherwise. You're seriously trying to suggest there's more than one of me? Then show me the evidence. Show me something that proves there's more than one of me.
Take that!
No, it's not that. Iris is determined to hide something from me. I can't drag it out of her unless I show her some irrefutable evidence. I don't feel like I have enough evidence. I think I'm missing something. I need to look around some more. Finally getting to the bottom of this case. I can count on Iris to break those locks, so I should try to gather more clues. From Sister Bikini, Edgeworth, Gumshoe, and Pearls. Let's see what's in the garden. The cops are still combing the place. They look pretty nervous. I'd be nervous too. It's gotta be a tough job. Especially with someone giving you the evil eye the whole time. How could I have done that? Wow, I can't believe it's still bothering him. Edgeworth? Ah! Hey, don't you dare run away! What do you want, Wright? What do I want? If you came here to laugh at me, then get on with it. Go on, laugh away. I was ready to hug it out with him, but he's just the same prideful Edgeworth. Damn it, Edgeworth, let him hug you! You went back to the criminal affairs department, right? You said you wanted to look into something concerning Iris. Yes. And thanks to what I found, I was reminded of something terrible. Well, don't keep me in suspense. You guys are putting a lot of effort into the investigation of the garden here, huh? And there's a high chance this is the actual scene of the crime. That's why. You mean because of the writing in blood and the talisman in the snow? Exactly. As you know, those things couldn't have been planted here after the murder. But surely, you don't suspect Maya, do you? We have to treat everyone as a suspect, Maya as well as Iris. It's our job, right? I mean, as far as suspects go, I think Maya's the least likely. I mean, she's been locked in there for the entire night, as far as we know. So, I guess you still haven't gotten over your fear of earthquakes. No, though thankfully my nightmares have stopped. But still, if the ground gives even the slightest tremor, I find myself short of breath. Oh! 17 years ago, when we were little school kids at the same elementary school. Edgeworth found himself in the middle of a murder. It all started with that big quake that hit the courthouse. Yes, I was stuck in the elevator with my father, who was a defense attorney. We were deprived of oxygen and we passed out. That's when it happened. That single gunshot shattered my whole life. I lost everything that day, all because of that earthquake. My dreams, my family, and myself. It's been more than 17 years now, and that case was finally resolved 2 years ago, right? You think I don't know that? I was there, but it was such a shock. I never imagined I could be so wrong about myself and my life. I'm sorry, Wright. There's nothing else I can say. Not after you chose to become a lawyer for my sake, and not after you saved me. Edgeworth, you're stronger than you think, so no more of this self-pity, okay? Hug him, you fool! There was something that bothered me about her from the moment we met. I felt like I'd seen her somewhere before. No, wait. Not somewhere. I felt like I'd seen her in court before. So you went back to the Criminal Affairs Department to look for her file? Yes, I checked over every case file I've ever worked on. And I was right. I had seen her face before 6 years ago. 6 years ago? It was my first appearance in court, and as cases go, it was my worst nightmare. So, who is she? I'm sorry, Wright. I can't give that information away to a member of the general public. What? Why not? It might be the crucial piece of the puzzle that solves this case. The woman I knew was the daughter of a jewelry store owner. She had nothing to do with Iris in Hazakura Temple. And neither did the case. No, that woman is completely unrelated to this murder. Unrelated? Yes, I can say that with complete confidence. You're wrong, Edgeworth. She's totally related to this case. I need to fill Edgeworth in. I need to explain the connection between Iris and the woman Edgeworth knew. I suppose you've noticed that Maya's name is written on this lantern. It's pretty hard to miss, you know. It's written in Miss Doneem's blood. She was probably forced up against the lantern by the killer. Then, with her back against the lantern, she wrote that name with her finger. That's why it's written upside down. You think the victim wrote this herself? Isn't that the obvious conclusion? But why would she write Maya's name? I don't think that's something I want to discuss with you. Why is this the only area with no snow? Someone must have cleared it away. What other explanation is there? Of course, I played the what-if game as well, but when I asked our trusty bungler, Detective Gumshoe, he said it wasn't him. I suppose Edgeworth has a point. Whoever cleared the snow away must have had a reason to do so. I just can't imagine what that reason could be. There must have been some sort of clue there. That's my guess, anyway. These are torches of the naked flame variety. I guess you need all the light you can get up here in the mountains. Accordingly to Detective Gumshoe, they were lit on the night of the murder. Well, Maya was training up here, so there's nothing strange about that. Except, apparently they don't light these torches for training sessions. Huh? I heard that too much light isn't conducive to spiritual training. Oh, I didn't know that. A little lantern, a little statue. It's small, but the whole place is incredibly well kept. There's just one thing that's troubling me. Everything else is covered in snow or frozen over, but the ice in this bowl has been broken by someone. Maybe one of the detectives washed their face in it or something. Don't be ridiculous, Wright? No detective would be that careless at a crime scene. He's really angry. I better not say it was Gumshoe's salary he's gonna pay. There's a charm or something poking up from the snow. And it looks pretty old. There's a leather cord tied to it, too. It belonged to the victim. We're sure of that now. It's going in the evidence room once the investigation is over, so hands off, right? You don't need to tell me that. Well, our dear friend Larry just tried to steal it when no one was looking. He probably just wanted something to remember his esteemed teacher by. Oh, Larry. Larry. I need one last piece of decisive evidence in order to prove who Iris is. I just have to find it. It's weird that there's no one around all of a sudden. It sure gets quiet up here in the mountains when you're all on your own. Speaking of alone, I guess I should go check out the shack just down this path. Maybe I'll find Larry there sulking again. Well, I was planning on going down here anyway, because it seems like a good place to check out. Oh, Mr. Nick! Pearls! What are you doing here? Nothing. What about Mystic Maya? Is she alright? Well, we don't know yet. Oh, I see. Hey, what do you think you're doing here, Nick? Larry. This is the loser's shack, where losers get together to lose themselves. This is the what? Hey, we find comfort in each other's failures, okay? You got a problem with that? Look, Mr. Nick, Mr. Larry did a picture of me. That's, great, Pearls. We're going to gather firewood now. We'll be cooking some half-rotten potatoes over a miserable little campfire. So stay out of our way. I don't believe this. Why can't he try getting fired up over becoming a better man? No one believes a word I say anymore. Listen to me, Pearl. You don't want to trust this kind of guy, okay? He'll only let you down. Oh, Mystic Maya. Oh, Pearly! Let me hug Pearls. Look at this graffiti scrawled right on the front of the shack. Nice he managed to get a pretty good likeness. When I really think about it, I guess art kind of suits him. I mean, his very existence is an art of sorts. These steps lead up to the foot of Dusky Bridge. Coming down is a cinch, but going back up doesn't look like a walk in the park. I'm starting to understand why rivers always want to float downstream, not up. Gravity's a bitch, yeah. This is the famous Eagle River. I got to try out its rough rapids the other night. They say it has a really strong current. And they weren't kidding. It's both powerful and fast-flowing. I was dead lucky. I mean, lucky not to be dead. That stuff is really ruining the beautiful atmosphere around here. It's so inappropriate. Neon says, down with gravity! Damn gravity, always getting in the way of my plans. Gotta think of the kittens. That's Dusky Bridge up there. It's amazing how clearly you can see it from so far away. Larry supposedly saw everything through the shack's window. Not much light gets down here, so it must be pitch black at night. This area was probably illuminated that night because of the burning bridge above. Let's talk to Pearly. Larry, is there something you want to tell me about this picture? Heh, I've got nothing to say to you, Nick. My life's here now with Pearl, two losers cooking potatoes together forevermore. What am I going to do with him? Alright then, what do you think about this picture, Pearls? I think it's really well drawn. I can't draw at all, so I think it's really amazing. See, someone appreciates it. It's tough getting the flames to look like that, you know? Fire is hard. It really is. My props to the artists involved in that, both IRL and in game. It's supposed to be Sister Irish flying through the air, isn't it? I love it. It's like a dream, a wonderful fantasy. I'm not sure I'd call it a wonderful fantasy. No, it wasn't a dream. She really flew, I'm telling you. Iris really flew that night. Huh? But, Mr. Larice. Not you too. Please don't look at me like that, Pearl. Don't look at me like I'm some kind of nutcase, I beg of you. I guess this picture really is a representation of what Larry thinks he saw. Okay, so I was half asleep when I was here at that night. I was wide awake after the lightning struck, and I saw what I saw. It was exactly like I drew in the picture. You know, it looks like I don't have any choice but to take this sketch at face value. Hey, what's with the look of doubt on your face? Pearls? Yes, Mr. Nick? I've been meaning to ask you about the night of the murder. Huh? Where were you, and what exactly were you doing when it all happened? I was just, well, I'm just a kid, you know? I'm sure it doesn't really matter what I was doing, or does it, Mr. Nick? Sorry, Pearls, but yes, it does. On the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Miss Donim's room, reading a book together. But Miss Donim was murdered and you, Pearls, were at the Inner Temple. Just what exactly happened that night, Pearls? I was so worried about you, Pearly! I just want to know what happened. I'm really sorry, Mr. Nick. Oh, Jesus. I've been a bad girl. That's why I'm being punished. Pearly, no! What are you talking about, Pearls? My spiritual power, it's disappeared. What? Her powers have disappeared? What do you mean your powers have disappeared, Pearls? It's all over for me. A spirit medium who can't channel spirits is like a painter who can't paint. Hey, what are you looking at me for? Pearls, did you try to channel someone's spirit right here at Hazakura Temple? Tried but failed, perhaps? Where'd he go, Nick? He made her cry. That was really cruel of you. Just as I thought. I'm gonna have to break her sight locks to get the truth out of her. Poor baby Pearls.
Take that!
Let's get a start and see if I have any ideas. After dinner on the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Elise Donim's room reading a book together, correct? Yes! I was so happy when she invited me! But I didn't go in the end. You didn't go? No, there was somewhere else I had to go instead. I was so worried, I had to go. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so nervous. So Pearls never went to Miss Donim's room because she was too worried about something or someone else. Pearls? On the night of the murder, you went to this place, didn't you?
Take that!
You went here, didn't you, Pearls? Looks like she's still not going to open up to me. This is where you went because you were so worried, right? And then the next question is, who or what were you so worried about? Now, I'm going to take a guess, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, okay? You mean you know? If I'm right, will you tell me the whole truth? Okay. You went to this place for one very simple reason, and that is this.
Take that!
Check on Maya. It's obvious what you were so worried about, Pearls. It was Maya, wasn't it? Ah! You knew the training Maya was undertaking was dangerous. After all, it was the special course. Yep. Yep, Pearly was worried. Sister Bikini scared you with what she said, didn't she? And because it was you who introduced Hazakura Temple to Maya in the first place, you felt responsible, didn't you? Thinking about what could happen to Mystic Maya made me more and more worried. I couldn't sit still at all. That's why I decided to go and find out how she was doing at the Inner Temple. Then we're clear now that you went to the Inner Temple that night, Pearls. What's not clear is what happened after that. About what time was it when you headed over to the Inner Temple? It was probably around 9:30 when I left the main hall. I heard the real training was supposed to start at 10. I wanted to get there before it started, but there was so much snow so I didn't get there until after 10 o'clock. Until after 10? How did you know what time it was? Because I heard the bell ringing for lights out. She heard the lights out bell. The Hazakura Temple bell's pretty small though, isn't it? You must have really good hearing. I was really trying to pick up the sound of that bell, that's all. I didn't want to miss it. That would be terrible. She was trying to hear the bell. Tell me, Pearls, why were you so worried about hearing that bell? Huh? Oh, I think I know why. The reason you were so worried about that bell was because of this. think I have enough. I'll come back. Nothing looks like it's ready to collapse, at least more than it did before. According to Bikini, Eagle Mountain is very prone to earthquakes. I had a feeling something bad was going to happen, and sure enough, it did. Yep, Edgeworth definitely couldn't live up here. Yeah, I don't think Edgeworth is going to be considering moving up here anytime soon. Now it really is more of a dusty bridge than a dusky bridge. Yeah. I wonder if Sister Bikini is back at the main hall yet. I haven't seen Gumshoe around for a while either. Maybe they're having a cup of tea together somewhere. I bet Gumshoe is Sister Bikini's type. Yeah. Come on now, Phoenix. You know he's got the hots for Maggie. Wait, no. You can see the main hall from here. Sister Bikini should be back by now. We were interrupted earlier by the earthquake, and I think I should go pick up our conversation where we left off. Wonder what this thing was used for on the night of the murder. There's only one key to the snowmobile, and Iris is the one who had it. I suddenly had the mental image of little Pearly using this thing, and oh god, that's a terrifying thought. A 9-year-old should not be handling a snowmobile all on her own. So I have to wonder if it was her. But she says she never left Hazakura Temple that night. It's a quaint little bell tower. I never would have thought that something like this I never would have thought that something this horrible was about to happen. When Iris rang the lights out bell that night. This is one impressive gate. Yeah, it's pretty grand for something that belongs to a branch family of the clan. I bet they make an exorbitant amount of money here. I mean, that whole special course thing has got to be good business. Ack! No, I'm starting to think like Maya. There she is. Well, what's the damage? How's the secret cavern? It looks like it survived, but we have a bigger problem now. I told Sister Bikini all about it. About the 5 locks that were stopping us from getting inside the sacred cavern. But who could have done that? The only people who know how to set those strict locks are those of the Korean tradition. We have Iris at the sacred cavern, trying her best to open them for us right now. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to talk with you about, Sister Bikini. Oh, yes, we were in the middle of a chat, weren't we? Yes, you were telling me how the Master of Korean disappeared 17 years ago. I want to know why Misty Face suddenly appeared at this temple. It was about a week ago when Mystic Misty arrived. And after she showed me the talisman that proved she was the master, she said, "Someone is trying to destroy the Korean tradition's main family line." Oh. I'm here to put a stop to them. Oh no. Someone was trying to destroy the main family line? And there's only one heir to the title of master at any time, and it's usually the eldest. That child becomes the new master of Korean, and her daughter's the main family. All other mediums become branch family members with no hope of controlling the clan. So, thinking about it, that means that by extension, if everything had gone according to the original plan, Misty eventually, handing it off to her eldest daughter, Mia, then Mia and all her daughters would have been Mia and whatever kids she had would end up being the main family, and then Maya and all of her kids, if she ever had any, would become the branch family. Would become a branch family. So basically, if you have siblings, you're fucked. But I'm guessing that if all of the members of the branch family of the main family die before it can be passed on, then it goes to the eldest branch family member, if applicable. So that would mean it would go to Misty's sister and her family. And by extension, Pearl, except the only problem with that is that Pearl does not have any powers right now. So that throws a wrench in the plans. That's why nothing has changed throughout the history of the clan. Branch families always have and always will plot to erase those of the main family line. It's Morgana, isn't it? Or Morgan. Is the power of the Master worth this much bloodshed? Well, it depends on who you ask, but yes it is. It's an altar, it looks a bit old, but someone does a good job taking care of it. Speaking of altars, I remember seeing one like this in Korean Village last year. I guess they really do have something to do with spiritual power after all. I've only seen a layout like this when I saw this really old Japanese movie on TV. Wow, this hibachi brazier really puts out a lot of heat. Just thinking about how happy we were sitting here eating pot roast and gravy. It's a stack of straw zabuton cushions. Maya told me this type of zabuton is called enza. I suppose if I'd never come here, I'd have missed out on all these new things. I hope Maya's okay. I bet the writing on these sliding doors are instructions for spirit channeling. Kind of like how we scribbled math formulas on the bathroom walls to remember them. Except we couldn't go to the bathroom during tests, and I can't read these walls. A cheat sheet for channeling. You believe in the technique, don't you, Mr. Wright? You know its power's real. Yes, I do. It's been 2 years since I first met Maya. In that time, I've seen her channel the spirits of the dead plenty of times. Mostly her sister. During the mask-to-mask case, and during Maggie Bird's trial, too. Thanks to Maya, Mia's always on hand to help me out when I need her the most. The crying technique has made a huge difference to the world, you know? I mean, the ability to commune with the dead, that's true psychic power, you know? Members of the tradition have always been there behind every important leader. Who wouldn't respect such a tremendous skill? I suppose so, but with all that power and influence, I kind of expected you'd be really rich by now. Are you saying we're poor, Mr. Wright? Ho ho ho, you're very direct, aren't you? People don't believe in it anymore, you see? All because of one little mistake. A mistake? What mistake? It was 17 years ago. Now, that's when everything came crashing down. All because of that incident. That incident? Is she talking about what I think she is? I'm sure the records still exist if you're interested. Locked up, of course. It was called the DL6 incident. That's the name of the file. The DL6 incident. I knew it. The DL6 incident. I know it well. I handled a related case just 2 years ago. Ah, that's right. So it was you who was the defense attorney on that case. A murder that took place 17 years ago. It was the first time in the country's history the police ever used a spirit medium. The idea was to channel the victim's spirit to learn the identity of the murderer. And the medium who performed the channeling was Misty Faye, Maya's mother. Through Mystic Misty's channeling, the name of a certain man surfaced. Armed with that as evidence, the investigators were spurred into action. But that man, he was found not guilty, wasn't he? That's right, he was. And the case remained a mystery. In other words, we failed. It was the first case the world had ever seen the Korean tradition openly involved in. It was all over the media, the public, the judiciary, the people of Korean Village. Everyone judged her. Everyone said Mystic Misty's powers were a sham. And then she just disappeared, vanished, while everyone still thought of her as a fraud. But I know the truth. Misty Faye's spirit channeling wasn't a sham at all. Of course it wasn't. And since you managed to reveal the truth, we're finally making a comeback. The Korean tradition is starting to recover at last. But with a new master wielding the power of the clan... Does she mean Maya? The spiritual power of the Korean channeling technique is in the blood. Maya's told me the exact same thing before. We, the women of the Fae clan, have always been spirit mediums. It's because the power to communicate with spirits flows strongly through us. According to Maya, only the women in the family can inherit that power. The main family's bloodline stems directly from Mystic Ami, but with each new generation, only one daughter becomes the new master. And the ones who don't become branch families, right? That's right. And it's always the cause of tragedy. You know, Maya had a sister too, an older sister named Mia. Oh yes, I've heard of her. What? You know about Mia? Of course! She became a lawyer in the hopes of discovering what happened to her mother. And lost her life as a result. Do you know what Mystic Mia is rumored to have said? She said it wasn't only because of her mother that she became a lawyer. She also didn't want to fight with her sister over the leadership of the tradition. Really? Well, she saw what happened to her own mother, Mystic Misty, as she grew up. I guess Mystic Mia got tired of seeing all the rivalry between her mom and her aunt. That's right, Misty Faye had an elder sister too. An elder sister, yeah. And Misty, having superior powers, managed to usurp the master's seat from her. Mystic Misty's sister is Mystic Morgan, as you probably know. Yep. Morgan. There's a name I know well. It was a year ago now, at Maya's home, Korean Village. Man, there's so many callbacks, and everything is just coming together, and I love it! What she did was terrible. It was all so she could make her own daughter the next master. I suppose if you know about Mystic Morgan's daughter, then you must have already realized that Iris... Star says, this is a lot of M names. Yeah, I'm sensing a theme here. They really like their M's. You must have already realized that Iris... Huh? Iris? What's Iris got to do with any of this? That Iris is... Mystic Morgan's daughter. Iris is what? Is she kidding me? Iris is Morgan Faye's daughter? Did you just say that Iris is Morgan Faye's daughter? Oops, I thought you already knew. It sounded like you'd met one of Mystic Morgan's daughters already. I have. I know her very well. Oh? Yes, Pearls. Pearl Faye. But I always thought she was an only child. You jest! That child! She's Mystic Morgan's... Star says, Morgan Faye has had enough of the M names. Yep. That's why Pearl is named Pearl. I had no idea. Mystic Morgan. But she's in prison now, isn't she? Yes, ever since she was found to be a co-conspirator in a murder case last year. Neon says that that's the one thing she had going for her. Yep. It was all done to set Pearls up as the next master. I see. So I've been wrong all this time. Mystic Morgan had 3 daughters, not 2. Wait, what? 3? Yes, Iris, her twin sister, and Mystic Pearl. What? Twin sister? Oh, didn't you know? It all happened 20 years ago. After the clan leadership was taken from her by her sister, Mystic Morgan's life crumbled. It wasn't many years later that Karayan's reputation hit an all-time low. When Mystic Morgan's husband realized his wife would never become the master, he left her in the village, taking their twin daughters with him. Oh. How awful. He was a jeweler, you know. Holy fuck! In the end, he remarried, and that's when it happened. He decided to give one of his girls up to be looked after by us here at the temple. Oh, holy fuck. Holy fuck, I did not see that coming. I know what's going on now, and holy fuck! That was Iris, you see. It's unbelievable. If Iris has a twin sister... Could it be... Could you tell me one more thing, Sister Bikini? What was the name of Iris's sister? I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I just can't remember. All I can recall is that her father was a jeweler. Well, that's a clue, I guess. A jeweler. Thank you very much. You've helped clear up a lot of details. Pearls had 2 older sisters, huh? Yes, that's right. No doubt it was all because of Mystic Morgan's anger towards the main family. Anger? What do you mean? Her twin daughters were taken from her by her jeweler husband, but even that couldn't destroy her dream that a child of hers would one day lead the clan. So she eventually remarried and had Pearl. That's why she had pearls. It seems that the incident here was a result of Mystic Morgan's anger. Yeah, it was able to break free of the bars that confine her. So Iris has a twin sister. The plot thickens. But this information will be useless unless I can flesh it out a bit. I need to ask more questions and get some more info. When I think about it, I do kind of feel sorry for Mystic Morgan. It wasn't her fault that her sister was a more powerful spirit medium. Mystic Morgan just couldn't compete with her sister. It must have been really tough on her. Even so, that doesn't excuse all the things she did. No, of course not. Iris had a twin sister. That's really all I know about her. That and the fact that she was taken away from her mother by her jeweler father. I don't have any idea where she is or what she's doing now. I could tell her, but she'd probably have a coronary and a half. So... Edgeworth was right. She isn't who I thought she was. Please tell me what's going to happen to poor Iris. If she was to be found guilty, I wouldn't accept it. But your testimony, Sister Bikini. I can't help my testimony. I saw what I saw. It's up to a pro lawyer like you to deal with problems like that. What a disgraceful young man. You finally seen through him, huh? How could he sit there and claim he really saw what he drew in that picture? Although the portrait he did of me was rather flattering, I must say. Still, it's not like Larry to make something up that might get a woman he likes in trouble. There's more to that sketch of his than meets the eye, I'm sure of it. How can I ever make up for this? Make up for what? For allowing harm to come to such an important person. Sister Bikini must feel really responsible for what happened. Miss Doneen was the master, after all. Ah, this poor little girl. First I lost Maya, and now Pearls. How much more pain is this case going to cause me? Ugh, not to mention this fever is giving me a killer migraine. No, doesn't have anything to say about Mia, huh? So, this young lady is the new master. That's right, Maya Fey. Oh dear, oh dear. If I'd known who she was, I would have prepared a feast, not a boring old pot roast and some gravy. Once we get her out, you can give her all the feast you want. Of course! You just make sure you get her out, alright? She's the master, you just have to rescue her. We're doing our best. Just to check. Sounds like someone's happy. What tune is that they're humming? Oh. No motive, no crime, no motive, no crime. Sing it with me, no motive, no crime. I remember when we used to search in the channeling room and crying. Whoop! I love my job. Who cares if the clues I find are no good? That's not what investigating's all about. The investigator investigates for the love of investigating. It's a passion. Good cases we have, good cases we've lost along the way. I would have never guessed that Gumshoe was into reggae. Neon points out that Maya will probably be starving when she gets out. Yeah, seriously. I mean, even if we had found her the next day, she probably would have been starving because that girl is like a black hole. But it's been 2 days already, and she's probably gonna be stuck in there for another day? 3 days without food? Yeah, she's gonna be hungry. Every case is gonna be airtight, every case is gonna be airtight. Hey, pal! Huh? Who, me? How long have you been there? I just got here. Oh, okay. So, what are you up to, detective? I'm investigating, pal. I made a promise to Mr. Edgeworth. I promised I would find the real murder weapon. The real murder weapon. That barbed sword thing turned out to be a false lead, right? I'm giving it my best shot here, but I still haven't turned up any clues. I just found these weird scraps of paper. It looks like a letter or something. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with the case, though. A letter? Show me that letter. After I ask you this question, so how's the investigation going, Detective Gumshoe? I don't know if I should be telling you, pal, but I guess it can't hurt. Looks like the murder took place in the Inner Temple Garden. And they're taking that bloody writing on the lantern pretty seriously back at HQ. What? You mean... I don't have the details, pal. All I know is, if you don't find Maya down in that sacred cavern, we're gonna be faced with one ugly situation. What kind of ugly situation are we looking at here? You got me. I don't know. They're not my words, pal. Then who said it? Mr. Godot. Godot? What did he mean by that? Neon says we shall jigsaw puzzle that litter back together. Yes, we will. I have a feeling that's going to be literal. Star says Phoenix is putting those puzzle skills he learned from Layton to use once again. Indeed. About that letter you found. Don't remind me, pal. I'm busting a gut here trying to find the murder weapon. And all I find is some burnt up old letter. Show me this letter! Burnt up old letter? Yeah, it was in that incinerator right outside the Inner Temple. I knew it! The incinerator. I knew it! I knew I wasn't imagining it. There was snow on the incinerator when I first saw it. But after the incident, the snow had melted away, which means someone used the incinerator on the night of the murder. What's up with you, pal? I've got it right here if you want to take a look. Yes, give me. Can I? Do you mind? Sure, go nuts. I don't want it, pal. You can have it. It's all spirit mediums and masters and stuff. I bet it's got no relation to the case. I bet it's incredibly important to the case, actually. Spirit mediums? It's got to be important if it mentions spirit mediums and masters. I better give it a good looking over and some serious thought. Make sure you check it in the trash when you're done. Littering's a crime, pal. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna be throwing this out. Be careful once night falls, should be there. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit, leave everything up to her. think this is why Iris was so scared. Her name is, here's a picture of her. Use it when you channel her. I know you can do it. Once this is, tell anyone about this letter. Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. Yeah, I think Bikini has the right of it that this is Morgan's doing. Star says, "Oh, Gumshoe, you are so incompetent, but I love you." He tries his best. His best is just not very good. So, what do you know about the real murder weapon so far? Well, it wasn't the Shichishito that was found impaled on the victim's body. Mr. Edgeworth proved that in court today. Yes, that's true. In which case, it must have been another blade. And that's what you're running around like a headless chicken looking for now, huh? Yeah, and man, is it tiring work. But let me tell you something, pal. I'm no chicken. We've got the feather of forensics in our cap these days. We're using the department's secret weapon on this. Secret weapon? What's this secret weapon of yours? Is it a metal detector again? You want to know? You've got to think scientifically, okay? All right. A murder weapon was a sword. Swords are, scientifically speaking, made of metal, right? It's a metal detector. Any questions so far? No. I know what he's gonna say, but I'll let him look smart. So what's the perfect tool for the job? Ta-da! A metal detector. Yep. Raise your hand if you didn't see this coming from a mile away. Neon wonders if the secret weapon was Missile, but no, it was not Missile the dog. Neon is disappointed. Well, you want to give scientific investigation a go? Huh? Me? I've been using this thing for hours now. It gets pretty boring after a while. Why don't you give it a try? I don't know. Should I help Detective Gumshoe out or not? Let's go for it. Come on, pal. It's good fun, I'm telling you. Alright then, I guess I'll give it a go. Like I said, this is the department's most advanced gadget, the absolute best. It's so sensitive you can make it cry. It's so high-tech you can skydive off it. Oh, bother. So now I'm going to tell you how to use it. It's possible the real murder weapon is around here somewhere, right? Sure, that's what we're trying to find out. Right, so first, let's turn the detector on. That's the sound of the metal detector's signal bouncing off of something metallic. Next, move the detector around and give this courtyard a good look-see, pal. Don't worry, this baby will let you know when you've hit on something metallic. And when that happens, press the A button to give the air a good hard stare. This thing picks up metallic objects that are hidden from sight, too. Take a good look at anything and everything that seems suspicious, okay, pal? And Star says, the department must be having budgeting issues. I mean, considering how little Detective Gumshoe gets paid, I believe that. Look, a ladder! That's a step ladder. What's the difference? Looks like a normal ladder to me, pal. Surely everyone knows the difference. I mean, they're pretty ordinary objects. I've met plenty of guys like you, always picking it on the smallest details. The vegetable store guy near my place does it all the time. He even corrects me when I ask for a head of lettuce. That's a cabbage, he says. I'm telling you, they're the exact same thing. Not really. No, they're not. They're completely different. You have to plant both of them firmly in the ground before they can grow, don't you? Listen, you gotta take a step back and look at the bigger picture sometimes. Otherwise, you can miss a really important clue. That's advice from a pro, pal. The last person I need advice from is this guy in front of me. It's just a pair of skis. Nothing useful for our case here. I'm actually pretty good on skis, you know, pal. I just love to fly down the slopes with my coat fluttering in the wind. Really? I had no idea. How good are you then? Well, I'm better on skis than I am on skates, but not as good as when I'm on a snowboard. That's a pretty detailed answer. Oh, but you know what I'm best at? Making mashed potatoes and gravy. The guy's losing it. Must be the altitude. We better get back to the investigation. That's odd. This sled's made of plastic. It says bikini number 1 on the side. Maybe there's something under it. Hey, what's this? A badge? Aha! I've been hunting high and low for that. It's yours, detective? That thing's priceless to a guy like me, pal. A cop can't be a cop without his badge. I'm sure glad I put that diamond there now. How did you manage to drop your badge here, of all places? I know, I bet it happened this morning. I was playing around with the sled and... Stop right there, I don't need to hear any more. Gumshoe, you dummy. No. Yeah. That Shishido next to the golden statue wasn't the real murder weapon, pal. Yeah, I know. I just thought I'd check it again anyway. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Do you know about that sword? It's supposed to represent the multiple branches that life can take, all ending as one. Yes, I heard something about that. You know what I think about sometimes? What kind of life I'd be leading had I not joined the homicide division. You think about that kind of stuff, detective? Of course I do. I think about it a lot. Me as a traffic cop, me as a detention officer, me as the Blue Badger. There's something to be said about the humor value of Gumshoe as the Blue Badger. This is Miss Stone's staff, isn't it? Scientifically speaking, they're usually made of wood, but the detector's reacting to it. Yeah, but however you look at it, the thing's made of wood, alright? I don't bother investigating anything unless it looks like it might be metallic. Isn't the whole point of a metal detector to find metal where you can't see it? It's weird that this thing is causing a racket. Here, let me take a look at it. Hey, hands off! Examining evidence is a job for the... Eck! The top is coming off! Look what you've done! You've damaged a really important piece of evidence! Ah! That's a sword inside the staff. Is this... could it be the murder weapon? I'd never have guessed there'd be a sword concealed in the victim's staff. Star is excited about sword staff. Yeah, that's a twist I didn't see coming either. I'd never have guessed there'd be a sword concealed in the victim's staff. They call this kind of thing a sword cane, pal. This one's a real gem. The workmanship is really something else. Thank goodness it wasn't a cane sword, or else the victim would have stabbed her own foot. Star says, I love swords hidden in not swords. Yeah, I gotta say I love cane swords. I love the idea of cane swords. They're just really, it's just such a really cool idea. I officially give up on trying to figure out how Gumshoe's mind works. If the real scene of the crime was the inner temple garden, then why was the sword used to kill the victim found in the main hall courtyard? Hey, Gumshoe. Who knows about the hidden sword? No one. Even the police didn't know about this until I discovered it just now. Well, as they say, there's no team in Gumshoe. It doesn't look like there are any traces of blood on it. Then I guess this isn't the murder weapon, huh? No. I'm sure someone just wiped it off after the murder. Yeah, of course. This thing's definitely the murder weapon. Great job, pal. It's about the same length as this Shishido, too. This must be the murder weapon. Okay, I'm gonna run over to forensics. There's gotta be some traces of blood left, even if most of it has been wiped off. See you later, pal. Every case is gonna be airtight. Every case is gonna be airtight.
Hold it!
Oh, wait up, detective. Huh? What is it, pal? I'm a pretty busy guy right now, you know? You're going to get that stuff analyzed, right? That staff analyzed, right? Would you mind holding off for just a while? Huh? What are you talking about, pal? Please. Just until we find Maya. Maya? What's this got to do with her? I don't know, but I'm starting to get a really bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. Oh? How so? Look, Maya's trapped inside the sacred cavern right now, and, well, we don't even know if she's okay or not. The more evidence and testimony I hear, the more uneasy I feel. You don't think? Maya's been Please, detective! Let's just wait until we can get inside the sacred cavern. Star says, are you sure the uneasy feeling isn't just because of your fever, Nick? I mean, that's probably not helping matters, but honestly, I've got a bit of an uneasy feeling too. Let's just wait until we can get inside the sacred cavern. You're looking kind of iridian there. Okay, just stop it with that face, pal. One thing, though. This staff's secret trick, let's keep it between you and me, alright? If it gets out that we knew about it and didn't say anything, we're finished. I understand. This is just a regular run-of-the-mill staff, you got it? Okay, now you take good care of it, pal. Thank you, detective. Star asks if I have a fever. I don't think I do. I better not. Don't worry, she'll be fine. Come, Shu. You know, there's a place at the base of this mountain that has some really good pasta. How about I take you there when you find Maya, huh, pal? Sure, thanks. I can't help but wonder, though. What was Elise Donim doing with a staff like this in the first place? That's a good question. That's a very good question. That thing must have been worn by the victim. There's no other way of looking at it. You mean because of the matching leather cord found around the victim's neck? Yeah, I bet it was one of those things she always wore. I've got this safe I've already looked at this. This was found close to Dusky Bridge, wasn't it? That's what that artist guy said, yeah? Right after the defendant flew over the burning bridge. According to his testimony, she dropped it when she landed on the other side. But this crystal didn't belong to Iris. There are traces of blood on it too, you know, pal? Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that blood got on there because it was on the staff. The real question is, what was it doing near the foot of Dusky Bridge? I'm guessing they probably took I'm guessing whoever did it took the crystal sphere off of the staff so that the blood wouldn't be found. I've got some things I need to talk to you about, my dear.
Take that!
I know how you could have been in two places at once. This person saw you somewhere else on the night of the murder.
Take that!
I'm speeding through this because I've already been through this part. You say you left the main hall at 9:40, but what you say doesn't add up with your own testimony. There were two of you. Show me something that proves there's more than one of me. You have a twin. Mr. Wright, when you said there was another me, I was kind of expecting someone who looked like me, you know? I guess so. In that case, are you saying that I look like this person? Well, I can't say with 100% certainty, but can you show me something you are 100% certain about then? Ah, damn it. I really need to get to the bottom of this. Iris is determined to hide something from me. I can't drag it out of her unless I show her some irrefutable evidence. gonna load up for the sake of getting my HP back because ow! Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know that Iris had a twin sister? What? A twin? Neon says, stop being difficult. I know, right? Come on, Iris, work with me here. You can't be serious. Sister Bikini told me, but the problem is she didn't know the name of this twin. There was nothing about Iris having a sister in the files I checked. Well, Iris was taken in by the temple when she was really young. Apparently, her sister was raised by her father, a jeweler, I think. A jeweler? Right, I just might know who this twin sister of hers is. I had a feeling you'd say that. Let me guess. Her name is Dahlia Hawthorne, right? Yes, exactly. Please tell me what you know about her, Edgeworth. Please. It was my first court case, 6 years ago. I was a greenhorn, and due to my inexperience, the defendant died. You're talking about Terry Falls, right? You know about that case? You're not the only one who noticed something about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne. I checked one of Mia's old files from 6 years ago. Yes, Dahlia was a key witness in that case. Dahlia and Terry Falls conspired together to stage a fake kidnapping 11 years ago. They stole a jewel worth $2 million from Dahlia's father, a jeweler. And 5 years after that, she murdered her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne, to keep her from talking. Her sister? Well, her stepsister, actually. They weren't blood related. I knew it! Valerie was the only daughter of Dahlia's father's second wife. Oh. And this is when she entered my life. The woman who tried to kill me. She's got a really nice theme, though. So after Terry Falls died, what happened to Dahlia? Did you check that out? Does it really matter? Like I said, Dahlia isn't connected with this case. Why are you so sure about that? It's simple. Dahlia Hawthorne is dead. What? Well, her metabolic processes are a matter of interest only to historians, so to speak. Oh. I think I'm starting to piece things together. Neon says, a beautiful theme for a beautiful girl. Yep. What do you mean by Dahlia Hawthorne is dead, Edgeworth? Right, I must confess that in reading her file, I came to know of the murder case you were involved in during your college years. Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, thanks to the persistence of Mia Fey. Mia Fey! Mia Fey! At the time, Dahlia, it's like she was possessed by a demon or something. It's been almost 5 years since that guilty verdict was handed down, and her sentence was finally carried out. She was executed last month. Oh. Executed? I'm sure that's a bit of a shock for you, right? And for more reasons than one. But do you understand now? She can't possibly be connected with this case. She's dead, and once someone is dead, there's no way to revive them. There's no way to revive the dead? I wonder. It seems you're not aware of one other connection yet, Edgeworth. And what is that? It's about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne's mother. What's their mother got to do with any of this? She's Morgan Fay, a spirit medium from a branch family of the Korean channeling technique. Did you say Korean channeling technique? Do you know something about it? Oh, yes, I know it's connected with that fraudulent spirit medium. Fraudulent? I was involved in another nightmare 17 years ago. I was caught up in the middle of a murder investigation. The police didn't have any leads. They were stumped, and that's when they called her in. She was a very famous spirit medium and the master of her channeling school. But you know what happened? As a result of her efforts, an innocent man was accused of murder. She and her powers, they were all fraudulent. Edgeworth. Go to the police records room, it's all in there. All you have to do is check the DL6 incident case file and you'll know. Of course, how could I forget? Edgeworth was the victim in that case. Edgeworth, you'll understand someday, and then you'll see that the Korean channeling technique is real. Okay. Now let's go and try and bust this open. Let's save again, just in case. Just in case I do something dumb. Star points out that Dahlia must have dyed her hair red, huh? Yeah. That sure seems like the case, doesn't it? Okay. Try number 3. I've been through this twice already. Let's just do this. Skip ahead, skip ahead, skip ahead. Neon says, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's destroy those locks. Hell yeah! Let's get this done. I have a firm grasp of the situation now, Iris. You have a sister, don't you? A twin sister, perhaps? Ah! That's right. Dahlia Hawthorne, a woman I know only too well. I had no idea you knew of her. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. But she's no longer... Yes, I know. Her sentence was carried out recently, wasn't it? I'm sorry. Thank you. There's no need to explain now, is there, Iris? This second you who was here at the temple on the night of the murder. It was your twin sister, Dahlia Hawthorne. But you just said it yourself a second ago. My sister's dead. Have you forgotten that? Have you forgotten this, Iris? This is a channeling dojo, a training ground of the Korean channeling technique. Ah. That night, someone channeled Dahlia's spirit, and you knew about it. And that's the secret you've been trying to hide from me. Ah! And I've got my health back. I was in my room in the main hall that night. As soon as I heard that I'd been spotted at the inner temple, I knew. I knew it was my sister, Dahlia, the other half of me who passed away last month. Just as I suspected. The iris that Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple on the night of the murder. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Why didn't you tell me this before? Because my sister always does the right thing. Excuse me? And because I mustn't get in the way of what she's trying to do. I already betrayed her once before. I can't do it again. Dahlia, I hate you. You're pretty as fuck, but I hate you. You're a manipulative little ass. You betrayed her? What do you mean? That's why I have to accept I may be found guilty. It's the only way. What is she talking about? You know about it, don't you, Mr. Wright? About the fake kidnapping that took place here on Eagle Mountain 11 years ago. Oh. That was the start of it all. It's what started her down that twisted path. She started to commit crime after crime, and in the end, she lost her life. It's all because I betrayed her. How did you betray her, Iris? It was no coincidence that Eagle Mountain was where the exchange was to take place. After all, I helped plan the whole thing. Oh. What? But I got scared, so I ran away. What are you talking about? Why would you help her? Stealing $2 million from your own father, that's awful! But I promised that I'd help. And she didn't do it for the money. Huh? It was revenge on our father. Revenge? What do you mean by revenge? He was a hideous man. He threw our mother away and then sent her to hell. Her mother? She must be talking about Morgan Fay. Our mother was the eldest daughter of the main branch of the Fay family. The main family had a lot of influence in many business and political circles at the time. As the eldest daughter, our mother was set to inherit all of that as the next master. That's the reason our father married our mother in the first place, for power. Okay, yeah, fuck that dad. Fuck your dad. He does sound kinda terrible. But his plan backfired, because our mother's sister took it all from her. She took over as the Master of Kharian. That would be Missy Fay, Maya's mother. But before long, the credibility of the Kharian tradition hit rock bottom. The new master, Mystic Misty Fay, made a terrible mistake. It was during the investigation of the DL6 incident. After that happened, our father took me and my twin sister away, leaving our mother and our home behind. He hated the place. He said it was a hick dive and that he had no reason to stay there. And that's when you came here to Hazukura Temple? Yes, the woman my father took as his next wife already had a daughter, Valerie. I had no place in his new family, you see. Again! Fuck Mr. Hawthorne! Oh. And I haven't seen my mother once since then. Having the master's seat stolen from her and being rejected by her own family. I've heard she's been very battered spiritually and emotionally. I think I'm finally beginning to see how the pieces fit together. I have asked her everything I can in my capacity as a prosecutor. This incident, everything related to it goes back to the history of the Fae clan. That's what it looks like. Iris, there's just one more thing I want you to tell me. What is it? During the incident in which your sister, Dahlia Hawthorne, poisoned a lawyer, She began a relationship with a certain college student in order to hide the evidence. That college student. Have you heard anything about him? Well, I did hear one thing. She said she hated his guts. Oof! Ooh! God damn! I see. Thank you for your help. You're welcome. Hurry up, Phoenix Wright! There is still much to investigate. Leave these locks to me. I'll open them for you, I promise. Thank you. I suppose I'd better continue my investigation. Star is also sympathizing with Phoenix here. Oof. There's still one giant secret left to unlock. Pearl's psych lock. And I think I know who she channeled. Yeah. Star says, poor Phoenix is just getting gut punched today. And they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. Please don't give me another gut punch right now, please. Look at that! They really did make a fire right in front of the shack. Oh, good. Oh, Mr. Nick! Hi, you're too late, Nick. If you came here for one of our potatoes, we've already polished them all off. I think I've pretty much got all the evidence I need. Now I just need to find out what Pearls is hiding. There's gonna be another gut punch to this. I just know it.
Take that!
I feel a bit more sympathetic to Dahlia now that I know what her deal was, but also I still think she's an asshole. Star says, everyone brace your guts. After dinner on the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Elise Doneen's room, reading a book together, correct? Yes! I was so happy when she invited me. But I didn't go in the end. You didn't go? No, there was somewhere else I had to go instead. I was so worried, I had to go. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so nervous. Neon says that their gut is sensitive. Yeah, so, maybe invest in some really strong padding then. So Pearls never went to Miss Doneen's room because she was too worried about something or someone else. Pearls? On the night of the murder, you went to this place, didn't you?
Take that!
You went here, didn't you, Pearls? Looks like she's still not going to open up to me. This is where you went because you were so worried, right? Then the next question is, who or what were you so worried about? Now, I'm going to take a guess, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, okay? You mean you know? If I'm right, will you tell me the whole truth? Okay. You went to this place for one very simple reason, and that is this. Maya. It's obvious what you were so worried about, Pearls. It was Maya, wasn't it? Ah! You knew the training Maya was undertaking was dangerous. After all, it was the special course. Yep. Sister Bikini scared you with what she said, didn't she? And because it was you who introduced Hazukura Temple to Maya in the first place, you felt responsible, didn't you? Thinking about what could happen to Mystic Maya made me more and more worried. I couldn't sit still at all. That's why I decided to go and find out how she was doing at the inner temple. Then we're clear now that you went to the inner temple that night, Pearls. What's not clear is what happened after that. About what time was it when you headed over to the inner temple? It was probably around 9:30 when I left the main hall. I heard the real training was supposed to start at 10. I wanted to get there before it started, but there was so much snow, so I didn't get there until after 10 o'clock. Till after 10? How did you know what time it was? because I heard the bell ringing for lights out. She heard the lights out bell. Yep. Once nightfall should be there. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Aha. Aha. The Hazakura temple bell's pretty small, though, isn't it? You must have really good hearing. I was really trying to pick up the sound of the bell, that's all. I didn't want to miss it. That would be terrible. She was trying to hear the bell. Tell me, Pearls, why were you so worried about hearing that bell? Huh? Oh, I think I know why. The reason you were so worried about that bell was because of this.
Take that!
You were given some instructions to follow for that night, weren't you? I presume you recognize these pieces of paper. Ah! Where did you... In the incinerator at the inner temple. Pearls. You were following the instructions in this letter that night, weren't you? That's why you couldn't afford to miss the sound of the lights out bell. I'm speechless, Mr. Nick. You're amazing. These instructions that were found in the incinerator. I believe they were written for you, Pearls. For me? No. As you can see, a large portion has been burnt, but the last section is still fairly legible. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Who was it, Pearls? Whose spirit were you supposed to be channeling? Taking into account the author of the note and their purpose for writing it, whose spirit would Pearls have been trying to channel? Don't overthink it, Phoenix. It's pretty obvious who Pearls was supposed to channel. The person you were trying to channel that night, Pearls, was... Dahlia. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That was the name that was in the letter. Ah! It's just as I suspected. It wasn't Iris whose sister Bikini met at the inner temple that night. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you know anything about her, Pearls? Do you know what kind of a woman Dahlia Hawthorne was? No. I've never heard of anyone by that name before reading those instructions. I thought so. Pearls doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know that Dahlia is her sister. About the instructions in the letter I found, Pearls, I have a feeling that poor Pearls is going to have to gird her gut here. Because I'm probably going to have to spill the beans to her. No one is having a good day today. Who wrote them? Whoever it was asked you to channel the spirit of someone you'd never heard of. You must have quite a lot of respect for him. After all, you followed their instructions without question. So, here's my next question. Who wrote this set of instructions for you to follow?
Take that!
Pearls. I have to wonder about something. You didn't have any idea what these instructions meant, did you? But you followed them to the letter regardless. Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you, that's why. How did you... I figured it out. The person who wrote you this letter was your own mother, Morgan Fay. Alright, Pearls, it's time you started telling me the truth. Mr. Guy. Why is she holding back from me? I don't like this. Don't underestimate me just because I'm a child. Huh? If you're trying to say I follow these instructions, I would like to see some proof. What? Because I don't think you have any. Ugh. She'd say anything rather than admit to carrying out those instructions. I guess I'll have to produce some more evidence then. One more thing should do it. Alright, Pearls? We both know someone carried out these instructions on the night of the murder. But you're right. There's no evidence that proves it was you. I knew it! However, I do know that whoever did it was a child. Huh? How do you know that? It couldn't have been an adult. No adult would have made a simple mistake like that. Simple mistake? What do you mean by that? I'm sure you thought you were carefully following the instructions you'd been given, but you misunderstood some of the words, and this is the evidence that proves it. Hang on. Once night falls, something should be there. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit, leave everything up to her. Her name is blank. She is our... Oh my god. Oh, Pearly. Oh, Pearly, honey. Oh my god. Oh, Pearly. Pearly, my baby. It was you who splattered gravy on this hanging scroll, wasn't it? Oh my god, Pearly. Neon says she tried. She did. She did. Oh, my poor little baby. What? Why would I do something like... Do you remember what was written in that letter? Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. But you didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast, among others, right? And Star's like, aw, Pearl. How do you know that? Remember the conversation you had with Miss Doneem on the night of the murder? Perhaps we can read some books together. Really? I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading. Well then, would you like me to practice reading with you? Miss Elise, so for example, how do you read this? It says gravely. That's kind of a tough word. Aha! Sure, Miss Doneem taught you how to read gravely and roast. But what she didn't teach you is what they meant. Gravely sounded like gravy to me, and the only roast I could think of was the food. And that's why you did it. That's why you covered the picture of the master in gravy from that night's pot roast. Oh, my poor innocent baby. To be honest, I did think it was a bit strange. I guess I really did get the wrong idea. Just a teeny bit. I really am useless. I couldn't even burn the letter properly as my mother had asked of me. Such a simple thing, and I couldn't even do it right. Oh, my poor little baby. Pearly, I just gotta say, your dead older sister and your mom are both assholes. Then again, your twin sister's dad is also an asshole, so I think it's just that section of the family. You and Iris are innocent. After dinner that night, I did go to the inner temple with a pot full of the leftover gravy. The gravy? I saw the picture on the hanging scroll near the sacred cavern. I was sure it was the Master of Karayan, like it said in the letter. I see. And then, well, it was already way past 10 when I got there because of all the snow. So I went to the inner temple guest area. The guest area? Yes, I thought I could wait there until the training was over. Why didn't you just go to the training hall? Because Mystic Maya's main training had already started and I couldn't interrupt it. So I just stayed where I was and prayed for her to get through it. But then Pearls, did you fall asleep? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just couldn't help it. Hey, don't worry about it, Pearl. Who cares if you fell asleep? I fell asleep waiting for Iris too. It happens. Anyway, then you found yourself trapped at the inner temple. Yes, when I woke up, it was morning. I tried not to cry, but Dusky Bridge wasn't there anymore, and there was no one in the training hall. I thought everyone had left me because I overslept. I threw the letter into the incinerator, then I heated up the leftover gravy and lit off some steam by checking the gravy on the scroll while you cried. It must have been pretty scary for you, Pearl. I know what it's like. Nikki used to leave me behind when I fell asleep at school, too. Don't equate something so trivial with her experience, Larry. She's 9. Okay, so we would have been 9 at the time, but still. She's a 9-year-old who got trapped on the wrong side of a broken bridge. It was written right in my mother's letter. It said, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Neon says, hug this teeny child. Yes, hug her. Hug her, just carry her around for the rest of the trial. It's okay. We gotta keep her safe. I was on my way over to the inner temple when I heard the bell ring. So you channeled Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit? No, I tried, but I couldn't do it. You couldn't do it? I've never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened. I tried and I tried and I tried. Yesterday, this morning, the whole time. But I just couldn't do it. Don't let it get you down, Pearl. It'll all work out. But if you want, I'll come flying through the sky for you. Whoosh, just like that. So she never managed to channel the spirit. Is that why you think your spiritual powers are gone? Yes, I don't know what to do. Isn't there any other explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit? I mean, one way we could test to see if she can still channel is to ask her to try and channel Mia. She's channeled Mia before, so, yeah, if she can't channel a spirit that she's channeled before, then yeah, something's up. I suppose there's one other possibility. It's not very likely, though. Could you please tell me what it is anyway? It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit. No double channeling. No double dipping. Someone else? What do you mean? Well, there's only one of each spirit, right? Yep, it's like dating a girl, Nick. You can't see a hot chick if she's already taken. Then that would mean on the night of the murder, well, you can't date a girl if she's monogamous anyway. If she's taken and monogamous. If she's polyamorous, then you might have a chance, but she could always say no. Someone else channeled her spirit before Pearls could. Someone else channeled the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a failure. I couldn't even grant my mother's final wish. Her final wish? Star says, this is my kin, no doubles. No doubles of Dahlia. Except for her twin, but that doesn't quite count. Her final wish? Yes, this letter. This is my last wish, she said. So make sure you follow the instructions carefully. This letter. I definitely need to find out more about it. My mother has gone to a place called a penitentiary. Yeah, I know, Pearls. I visit her every month, and last month she told me... The time we've been waiting for has come, Pearl. There's something I need you to do for me. I hid a letter for you at our home before they brought me here. I want you to read it and do exactly what it says. It's for the good of the Fae clan, my angel. You'll be doing a great thing. Now, listen carefully, and I'll tell you where the letter's hidden. My mother's always nice to me. I love her very much. Oh, Pearlie. My heart is breaking for this tiny child. This tiny, innocent child. Yeah, moms will do anything for the kids, right? She said it was for the good of the Fake Clan, so I knew I had to help her. I mean, Mystic Maya's part of the Fake Clan, so it had to be good for her, too. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Nick? I guess so, yeah. There was a picture with her letter, too. A picture? Of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Usually a picture is enough to channel someone's spirit, but this time... Pretty weird, huh? Like Larry knows anything about this stuff. There's something else that was strange about my mother's letter. The seal on it was broken, as if someone had already opened it once before. That sure is pretty strange. Someone had opened it already? Star says, "Oh, baby. This poor innocent child. I want to hug her and protect her from everything bad in the world. Because she really needs it." Thanks, Pearls. You really helped me out. You're very welcome. My mother's watching over us, so I'm sure Mystic Maya will be alright. Look at that innocent smile on her face. What am I supposed to say to her? Ha. I got the right voice! Finally figured it out, have you, Trite? You finally realized how terrible of a crime being painfully oblivious is. Godot! The entrance to the sacred cavern looks like a freaking puzzle workshop. I guess he's talking about Iris and the lock-breaking effort. But it's all a waste of time. Why do you say that? Because Maya Fey isn't coming back. What? You don't know what you're talking about. How can you say something like that? It was your job to protect her, Trite. Just like it was your job to protect Mia Fey. Two sisters caught up in the worst circumstances. I realize that, but... And you were the only one who was by their sides. You were the only one who could have saved them. But I didn't know anything about what was going on! Ha! What did I just say, Trite? Being oblivious is a heinous crime in itself. Tomorrow? We'll settle everything in court tomorrow, once and for all. Mr. Nick, is what that man just said true? It'll be alright, Pearls. I'm sure Maya's alive. You'll see for yourself tomorrow. Neon says Godot should go stick his head in the river. Yeah, seriously, go cool off, you hothead. Yeah, that's right. I know I can trust you, Mr. Nick. My dear Pearl, you've done so well, my child, my Pearl. It's better that you don't know what you've done. I knew this day would come for you. The blood of the main family is no more. Now, finally, after all this time, the Master's seat is yours. My last great wish. It seems I was just in time. Ooh, this whole thing is a roller coaster. And it's only just getting started, really. Ooh. Good morning. Oh, are you by yourself? Morning, Pearls. Mr. Nick, please tell me, what's going to happen to Mystic Maya? Neon points out, drama. Happy save jingle. Yeah, talk about mood whiplash there. Star says, "Welcome to Mr. Nick's Wild Ride! I'd like to get off, please!" I'm sorry. We don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple. Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those trick locks in the training hall? No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court. Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby? I have to admit, it's kind of strange. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Edgeworth? What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession, or so I heard. Franziska von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? Then who is? Who else would it be but Godot? Godot? Franziska is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern. The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's... Exactly. She's gonna come storming in at the last second. Just you wait. She's been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. Aw, Franzi! I love Franziska. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon. Yeah. Thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. Neon says, I hope Franzi chucks those locks at somebody. That would be a hell of an entrance. Runs in, fucking chucks a lock at Godot's head. Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you've passed your cold onto someone else, literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands. Partner? Aww! Thanks. Still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing the case. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise don't mean. No, I mean Miss Misty Fey. The impossible flight Larry seems to have seen. And what that woman is really after. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple. Your Honor, what are you... Who? Me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. I literally did pass my cold on to somebody else. I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot. My poor brother. He looked a bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. It is impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Godot. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end, anyway. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There's only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. Coffee? The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug. I knew it! So then you mean, forget it. What do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she's had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant? Iris, why didn't she discuss this with me first? Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple. Witness, is there something that you want to confess to? Yes, but first, I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore. It's alright. What is it? Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident. Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Donim? No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard where I desecrated it. What? I had a feeling. Order of the court! Order! Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder? Yes, that's correct. What? I had a feeling. 3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat. Ha! Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be that in this case, it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Trite? Gah, that Godot! So this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie. Up! Iris's testimony crumpled up and shoved into a pocket. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Iris was covering for someone. Ugh, now I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle or a life jacket. I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family. I'm sorry, but main family? Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself if need be to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Korean channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey. Huh? Wake up and smell the coffee, Trite. She's naming Maya? But she's not even here. Order of the court. So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer. I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her. That's ridiculous. Maya can never do such a... The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime? I want to get off Mr. Nick's wild ride, please. I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I sure wasn't prepared. But I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. I went to the inner temple that night, and I saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it. So it was in self-defense? Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya. You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night. And that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it. Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that, on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple.
Objection!
Did she now? Too bad for you, what she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go? I was in the inner temple's training hall. A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be properly described as hearsay. What do you have to say, witness? I just couldn't tell him the truth at that time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she? No! I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder. She's more like my ward than my girlfriend. There, we all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden? Well, Your Honor.
Hold it!
You're saying that the victim attacked Maya, I mean Miss Fey. Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was going to collapse. What were you doing at the time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting? I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. Iris sounds a lot like her sister, and it's kinda rubbing me the wrong way. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock. That's perfectly understandable, my dear. This doesn't sound right. I don't believe his testimony for a minute. What happened after that? Still stumbling, moved to deliver a fatal strike. She moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Aha. Wait a minute. What was this weapon? It was some kind of dagger. A dagger, huh? And Elise Donim tried to stab her with this weapon? To kill Ms. Fey? Yes, exactly. Ha! You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. I'd love to hear the story behind that sometime, but not right now. Because that sounds like an interesting story. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy? I do, actually. Do I have a problem with Iris's testimony? There is one thing. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony. You do? But this witness is your own client. Yes, well, nevertheless. That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony. Yes, sir. Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that. Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. You're not the judge, Godot. Okay, now let's continue. She threw her staff away and pulled a dagger from inside her robe. She threw her staff away. Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon. Ha ha ha. Ha. Ha 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 ha. It's true, it's not easy to inflict a deadly blow with a staff. Oh, is it? Well, I mean, to be fair, it is perfectly possible to inflict a deadly blow with a staff. Blunt force trauma can be pretty fatal. But that's not what we're thinking of here. Sister Iris, let me make sure I've got this straight. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff. Yes, that's what I saw. Is there anything odd about that, Mr. Wright? Yeah, it's odd, all right. Mystic Elise attacked Mystic Maya with the dagger. I'm sure of this. And then? Mystic Maya, she turned things around and then she used the weapon she had taken and lunged forward for a strike. Witness, are you absolutely certain? Loss of blood from stab in the back. Yeah, that does not sound like that does not sound like self-defense. Like, no matter how you slice it, that doesn't sound like self-defense. Yes, but believe me, she had no choice. If Mystic Maya hadn't done something, Maya Fey's name would have been written on this autopsy report instead. Yes, I see. This is bad. I still can't put the pieces together. Unless I find a contradiction in her testimony, Maya's going to get blamed for this. I only have this to say. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it. Do I have... Yes. So you're saying Maya Fey was the one who stabbed Miss Elise Donim. Sister Iris, is that really what you saw? Yes.
Objection!
Tisk, 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 trite. If your mug is filled with black and bitter suspicions, the only way to get rid of them is to drink them down quick. Like this. Do you have to chug it like that? I know that's supposed to be a metaphor, but I don't get it. There's only one thing you need to get, trite. It's called evidence. Now hurry up, before my next cup gets cold. What does that mean? Is Godot waiting for me to point out the contradictions? I'd like to avoid the whole spirit channeling thing if I can. Not only would it be inadmissible as evidence, but I think it might actually hurt our standing with the judge. First, I need to pick her testimony apart and expose the unnatural-sounding parts. I don't know why Iris would tell a story like this. There are two things I noticed that just don't add up. Strike Mystic Maya with her staff. Moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Threw her staff away and pulled a dagger from inside her robe. Stole the weapon. I think this is my trump card, but... Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events. Huh? Miss Donim throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me. But all you can do with a staff is hit someone. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but... the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. Ah! If Elise Donim really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say? That was an impressive bit of investigating, Trite. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade. Well... Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. But there is something strange about this whole testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point. Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. Mr. Wright, I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted. Because Miss Elise Donim would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. Real name, Misty Fey. Elise Donim would never have attacked Maya Fey. How can you be so sure? Because the victim's real name was not Elise Donim. Her real name was Misty Fey. Fey? Ah! No! Not Mystic Misty Fey! Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to... Misty Fey is the master of the Korean channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey. Are you serious? Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Donim actually the great Mystic Misty? Yep, she was your aunt. There's no doubt about it. It looks like Iris had no idea. I can hardly believe it. The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. Ah! Order in the court. Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, 1, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and 2, that the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter, despite the facts being believable when taken on their own. When taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible, except for one little thing. Yes, what is this one little impossible thing? Ha, you still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under-roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps. What? Could you get to your point? I heard this witness's confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee. Jesus, dude, do you really... How many cups of coffee have you had today? It's a wonder that you haven't keeled over from a caffeine overdose. You're going to ruin your health, my friend. That's what I'm saying! Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty. Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing? Obviously, Your Honor. But do you not notice something else? Star points out, I think we know why Godot is so high-strung. It's the caffeine. He's just literally running off of caffeine 24/7. Obviously, Your Honor, but do you not notice something else? Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it. Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene? Huh? The pine tree? This dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree when the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women. This little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. Which means the blood on this dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Ha! Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Did Didn't you just say it was your 8th cup of coffee? Exactly what I just said, Phoenix. I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice. In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. Stop anthropomorphizing every piece of bloody evidence you get. Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. Now then, the testimony we've just heard had numerous and unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. Cute girls never lie. Ever. Except I know you know that's a lie. Star says, Can we have an intervention for Godot? I think the caffeine is starting to affect his sanity. Yeah, I think this guy needed an intervention like several cases ago. About what, Your Honor? About the incident you saw, the battle between the two women. Yes, Your Honor. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff, but then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. With her back to the stone lantern, you say? That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. That was a very heartbreaking story. I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore. That seems reasonable. I mean, yeah, that's probably the most reasonable assumption she's made. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Neon says, Zavari, the stone lantern stabbed her! I don't think that's quite where we're going with this. I don't think the stone lantern is sharp enough for that. Stumbled briefly. Where were you standing when you witnessed all this? What do you mean? Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle. I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden's stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me. So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck? I don't buy that it was dark. But I don't have evidence to prove it. What happened to the victim's staff, then? I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I really couldn't see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated. That makes sense. And that would explain the need for the dagger. Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. And then at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up. Nothing sounds especially strange yet. What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her? Hold it! You're saying that Miss Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim? Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger. Still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point is just silly. As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal. I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified. Your animal analogies have grown tiresome. You were the one who started it! Anyway, so after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next? That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw? Yes, I'm almost certain. Almost? The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who. What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely.
Objection!
We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night, and that the woman that was killed was Elise Donim. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who? Ugh. I don't have anything to counter that yet. Well then, witness, please continue with your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. The two of them faced each other for a moment, then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. Then Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground. So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh? Yes. Flinging the knife away, but then she collapsed. Where did that dagger go? I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see. According to the detective who found the dagger, it was stuck into the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung towards the tree after the struggle. That is the most likely explanation, yes. After being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away? Now that I think of it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while, and Mystic Maya stood there not moving an inch. It felt for a moment like time had just stopped. But then, suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over. Seems like a reasonable story at first, but there's one thing that is completely impossible. The very idea of Maya stabbing someone, that alone is impossible, which means this faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere. I'm gonna try something. And then I think if it pans out, I'm going to stop because it's about, I'm going to leave it on a cliffhanger if this pans out.
Objection!
Something about you just isn't right today, Iris. Huh? Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. And since I think I'm barking up the right tree, let's leave it here for tonight. Next week, we'll see exactly what those contradictions are. Have a good night, everybody.